Mission, I'm mission. I'm trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Mission, I'm on a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transition in my life. On a mission, on a mission, on a mission.
All right. So Simone Redwine is a doctor and she is also a legal attorney, right? And she's also a legal commentator. And what's happening is that she has been covering this whole situation with Twitch Boss. And she has a book called Background Checks 101. You know, she's a very known attorney in this area in the entertainment world. And you know she knows a lot. So when it really comes down to it, you know, when it comes down to this NDA, um we're finding out that, you know, it was signed underneath duress, and it wasn't right for this woman Allison to make this family sign an NDA in this way. So we're going to go over some of her findings when it really comes down to the NDA, and we're going to talk about it, you know, because it's not right. It's not right. So it's a lot of things, you know, with this legal system that's going on that's not right, you know, when it comes down to things. When it really even certain things happen with Kobe Bryant, you know, with how his family was unable to get any of the proceeds from, you know, any situations that came down to him, you know. Uh Now, even when it comes down to me, the reason why this is like kind of hitting home to me is because I'm a part of an estate for my daughters, you know what I'm saying? And there was a whole like pushback that was going on, you know. So when it really comes down to like these things, it's not right to make any family sign an NDA to see their loved one's funeral. The NDA within it had clauses in it that were not non-disclosure clause. Okay. And that's not right to do that. Now, recently, uh, Twitch Boss's best friend Manny came out and said, you know, that he has 1 week to make a public. Allison, you have 1 week to make a public apology for what you did to that man, what you did to his friends, and most importantly, to his family. And I will go back to my little life. This is all me by myself. No one asked me to do this, so you can't blame other people. The way you love to do, I was kind to you at first. I asked nicely, then you lied and tried to destroy his image. 1 week, maybe two, I don't know yet. We need to stop we need to stop all this apology thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, here we go. This whole apology, I want you to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Apologize. Apology don't mean nothing. Really, apology. And I actually was watching Ringo TV. That's where I got this from. Shouts out to Ringo TV because he's been covering this extensively, you know, and I've been really getting a lot of information off of his channel. Apology does not necessarily mean that you are saying that you're wrong for a situation. It's pretty much saying that, you know, that you're actually valid in what you're saying. So asking this woman for an apology is not really doing nothing. What are we apologizing for? No, no. Sorry doesn't count. Okay. Almost doesn't count. Sorry doesn't count. None of that. I feel like he should go ahead and put the video out if he stands on what he's saying. We don't want an apology. I am sure the family doesn't either. You understand what I'm saying? When it really comes down to it, Melanie, you coming up, almost doesn't count. Apology doesn't count. What difference do it make to make an apology? And she's already been raising HEL double hockey sticks. Apology after the fact. You understand what I'm saying? For what? So this video credit goes out to Ringo TV. Shouts out. The damage is done. You understand what I'm saying? You're putting out a book. It's supposed to come out, I think, in February. I think it started off at $30 a pop for the book. Now it's going down because of what Ringo TV has been doing, like the attention that he's been bringing to the situation. Isn't that a form of blackmail? Exactly. You know, bottom line is she don't have to apologize. She already said what she had to say. She did what she had to do. She went on a national platform. You getting on Twitter or Instagram asking for an apology is useless. Apologize for what? Like, no, bro, that's it. You said what you had to say. Okay, now the next step is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no apology. That's what we always want. Well, if they apologize or I forgive them, we always do the same thing in our community. Okay, you apologize, everything is fine. We forgive you, everything is okay. We're not gonna like go any further. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying to me? That a simple apology is just all we need, and then we'll be good. So I'm gonna give you a week. I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to apologize for what? We're past apologies at this point. This mom, it's past the apology stage. Okay, we need to cut this apology stuff out. We need to cut the forgiveness part out because you know what? They not forgiving us. They not forgiving us when we do something wrong. Ain't no forgiveness, but we always want to forgive. It's something within our DNA that we just, you know, people could just gun our families down and we just forgive. You know, well, I forgive this person. Oh, you guys don't start raising HE double hockey sticks and you know what I'm saying? It's okay. You know, I forgive. No. You say something about the little small hats and stuff like that. It is nothing you can say. There was what's his name, Kyrie Irving. He read a book and just mentioned a DVD that someone did about the small hats. It was no apology. He had to apologize for what he did. It was no apology. You understand what I'm saying? There was nothing he could say. He damn near lost his career over like the things. So how does she get to like do this off of a deceased person, bringing up his diary and what he went through and this, that, the other essay, and all you want is an apology? Well, the apology is not going to retract the book. No, you need to say, listen, you need to cut that book off and take that part out. That would make more sense than an apology, bro. I'm sure her lawyers are going to hit him with a cease and desist. Yeah. And so therefore we'll never see what he has. Exactly. People are playing chess and other people are playing checkers. You know what I'm saying? You playing checkers on Instagram and she playing chess, lawyers, all that stuff on deck. I don't even know why he even said that. You know, you don't let the right hand know what the left hand doing. What are you doing? Like, I don't know who is advising him on what his steps he should take or whatever, but he's clearly not, he's not making the right decisions. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have said nothing. I just would have came out with the video and let the chips fall where they may. But if she know a video's fixing to come out, all she got to do is say, well, if you sign the NDA, you can't do that. That's all she got to do. You signed the NDA. You're not supposed to put it. If anything come out, guess what? Boom, boom, boom. If you making money off your IG, guess what? I get that money because you signed the NDA. Or, or, or was this an NDA that was signed under duress and that nobody in that situation has any standing? Let's get into it. Okay.
Corey Pritchard, the YouTuber's record and his court records. I teach you how to do that in Background Checks 101, my ebook, which is only $19.99. You can also go to my website, SimoneRedwine.com, and click Book or Hire Simone. And here you can schedule a consultation starting at only $149 for 30 minutes. All right, now let's get back to it. The Twitch saga. This was really sad. So, there we are. So if you're familiar with Twitch was Ellen DeGeneres, one of her very good friends, and he was a dancer on the show. He was on So You Think You Can Dance and other shows, and he brought so much joy to the Ellen DeGeneres show. Well, in 2022, he allegedly unalived himself, and his wife, Allison, who's photoed here, had decided that she would write a memoir telling all his secrets. And in it, she sat down with people and told all his business. She told everyone that he was a drug addict, that he was addicted to drugs, according to her, and that she believes that's why he unalived himself. Now, mind you, they have 2 young children together under the ages of 10. And then the woman has a stepdaughter, an older daughter that would be Twitch's stepson. Now, some of the very strange things that she's done, I'm going to read her statement. Some of the other strange things that she's done is, they said 2 days after he passed, she stopped going by his last name, which is Boss. Those are still your kid's last name. Now she wants to go by her ugly name, which is Holker. It's ugly. Sorry, if my last name could be Boss, like, well, mine's Redwine. I love it. But like, she decided to no longer go by his name. And the big kicker for,
but she been going by Holker. We talked about that in our last thing, that she has always gone by Holker. And then when they did live shows, then she went by Boss when they were together, So, hey, Melody, what's up?
Sorry, I had to get my mic. What's going on? What's popping? Good morning. Well, good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's 12 now. So, like, what's up? Good afternoon.
I'm like, well, I was with you in the morning, so that's why I said good morning. But
right.
But,
yeah. So what have you found out about the situation?
Well, I just came in. So where were you at? Sorry.
Well, we're talking about like we're just getting into the main part of what was going on, where she actually like made the allegations of him being on drugs and yeah.
My thing with that is and I did a video on it as well, but my thing, I didn't get too deep because I didn't find out a lot of information, or I didn't really investigate. I didn't really do a lot of deep dive into the NDAs, but I was just really kind of stuck, like just at the sheer fact that she would I don't know, out her husband like that, I mean, and she's going under the guise of, I want to bring awareness to substance abuse and help out the families and this, that, and the third. But my thing is, to me, it's like tarnishing his legacy. To me, it's looking opportunistic. It's looking like you're trying to make it more salacious to sell your book and push sales. Because my thing is, he already took his own life, and it wasn't from a drug overdose. So why are you bringing that up? And what she said, she found the drugs in the closet, like what, the day of the funeral or the day before the funeral, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is that a necessary detail that we needed? And again, that's allegedly, because how do we know? We weren't
You
there.
know,
And I'm not in his closet. I'm not in his house. So for you to even bring it up and say that, how are we going to disprove that or say that you're lying, or if you're telling the truth? I don't understand it. I honestly, really honestly don't understand it. I don't get the motive where it's going. He has young children. Her oldest child is not his biological daughter, but he has y'all have young kids in common, together, whatever. Like his and again, he claimed his oldest stepdaughter, he claimed her as his own. I said that to say though, she's older, she can process it better. Those young kids now, okay, bad enough that their father took his own life by his own hand. Now they have to live. Now they thinking like he's a drug addict. Like that's the legacy you're leaving for them. I don't agree with it. I kind of don't really care for it. But again, it's for me, and again, these are the views and opinions of Melanie Jones. I just don't like it because I feel like it's a cultural difference. Because I mean, I'm sorry, us as black women, with our mates, our partners, we protect them at all costs. Even as mothers, we protect them at all costs. And I actually I made the example with Zachary Timms. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who that is. He's a prominent pastor and a founding pastor at a mega church in Florida. He's actually like to the level of a TD Jakes, but in Florida. And he actually died of a drug overdose. He was, he suffered from depression, and he was actually in New York, and he died in a New York hotel. But I said that to say his mom asked the medical examiner, when they were doing their, findings and things like that of his cause of death, she asked him not to release the fact that he died of a drug overdose, and just to say that he died of cardiac arrest. And
mm,
they would, and they said they couldn't do it, and they held on to their integrity, and they said, by law we can't just not disclose that information of his actual cause of death, and they released that's how he passed away, was from a drug overdose. So
mhm.
it's like, the love of a mother even trying to protect her grown adult son. I don't understand how you as his wife just wouldn't just, you could keep that to yourself. He's already gone. That detail is not necessary. His legacy, he was Ellen's, he worked on the Ellen show. He was her DJ. Worked on a successful syndicated talk show. He was on So You Think You Can Dance. Like, he's gonna leave a legacy. His story's
Right.
gonna tell itself. So that to throw in he was on drugs, so he a crackhead. Like, I'm sorry. That was an unnecessary dig. I'm sorry. And you can say what you want, like, oh, she's just trying to bring awareness. She's trying to help other people. No, she's not. She's trying to help herself. Why? Because she's now dating a married man. So I don't fool up with that lady. I'm sorry.
Well, listen, from what I mean, in the live that we did yesterday, there were so many things that we uncovered when it really comes down to her connection with a guy named Emmanuel Acho.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a bunch of different stuff, like that she was actually dating this guy, and that they
Yeah.
actually were separated. Like even the daughter said they were separated. It was a lot of like interesting
Oh,
facts that came into this situation. So,
oh yeah.
um,
Well, his wife filed for divorce a week after the paparazzi released a photo of him and Allison. Was it Holker? They were going golfing together, and his wife. That's how his wife found out he was cheating on her, and she filed for divorce.
wow. So there was a whole thing, right? So a whole scandal like that going
Right,
on.
right. So my thing is, are you just throwing this? He was on drugs to take the attention off of you and what you had going on. Because that was again, it's an unnecessary detail. Whether he was on drugs or not, it's not going to bring him back. And again, he took his own life by a shot to the head. To
But
the
let me tell you what's
one.
crazy about that.
Hmm.
The shot to
Hmm.
the head. Okay.
Hmm.
Nobody in that hotel
Heard anything?
heard that. So you know that, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I know
Listen.
in Texas, if people could hear something down the street and call the police. If you get on this app called Next Door Neighbor, you'll hear
Hmm.
people like, "Man, I heard a gunshot." They'll be like,
Right,
"Oh, call the
right.
police!"
Well,
Right?
something
And
should
you don't
like
even know where the gunshot came from. They just say, "Call the police." Like, you know what
right,
I'm saying?
right. That, like I said
And
again,
you mean you in the close quarters of a hotel and nobody called the police about I heard a gunshot? Called down to the front desk and said I heard a gunshot?
Listen, leave it to me and my conspiracy theorist mentality. That was a whole piece of setup anyway, because that whole Anne Hesh situation was a whole little piece of sidebar. But I digress. I don't want to get too deep in that, but I don't know. It just seems like people that are surrounded by Ellen seem to have unfortunate demises. But
Well,
under
and let me tell you something. These shows be having insurance policies on people.
yeah, and so do the record companies. That's why they don't mind if these rappers kill
Just so
themselves or
y'all
kill each other.
know, like if
Yeah,
you get on like these shows, you get into like involved and intertwined with how they make more money off of you when you're passed away. And
yeah,
and every time they give you a large amount of money, like about $1 million to like a contract, in
right,
that contract is a death clause. Okay. And that
right,
happens with record labels, that happens with the entertainment industry. There is a death clause. And so in your demise, they actually make money from you
right.
passing on.
Off your situation, right? And then that part I get. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't, what I mean. Like I said, I don't really know the whole ins and outs of that situation. But and just like the rappers as well, that's why they don't mind pushing gangster rap. That's why they don't mind when they push they're on lean and they're on pills and they're on this and the third, because they just like, yeah, go ahead and go off yourself. It's okay. Because we're gonna get the money, we're gonna get the rights to your music, we're gonna own your catalog, and we just gonna continue to circulate this music and make money off you anyway. And they don't get it. But I don't know. I just thought it was distasteful of her to even throw that fact out, and then also revealed his journal, which is his personal thoughts. And again, this is allegedly. If that's if she did find a journal and read his private thoughts that he wrote down in his private journal, why are you telling us about that he was essayed by a family member when he was a child?
And hold on, the whole thing that she's actually saying about like the entire NDA was that he was a private person. He didn't want to know that. So you think that a private person would be
You want
cool
you
with
airing out their
his,
business like this?
so his
That's not,
family can't come to the funeral without NDA,
yeah.
but this
She
is
did.
cool.
She made the mother sign an NDA to see his body. Like you
But
see the body
no, the
before the funeral
NDA had
started.
even more in there. There was the NDA actually said in the NDA that they were, if they did any interviews, they put out any books, anything that had to do with him, that
Right,
she gets 100% of the proceeds. And then how you going to a lawyer the moment that your loved one pass on, and you
right,
already setting up yourself from a lawyer aspect, a legal aspect, to be able to like profit off of his demise. That sounds to me like she probably had an insurance policy on him as well, and you never know who she was in cahoots. Not allegedly, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly, you know what I'm
right.
saying?
And like I said, and again, in the leaked phone calls that his his good friend, slash brother had with her, she sounded very entitled. She sounded very selfish, at least in my opinion. When he mentioned, Twitch was so proud to provide for his family. His pride and joy was being able to provide for you and his children. You don't think I worked either? You don't think I made more than him at certain points? Something like that. That's not how. To me, that's not how a widow talks. I don't know,
But you
but
know what? She
I'm not
might
a
have
widow.
felt entitled because she probably like was, a lot of times when guys are very well known or whatever, and then you get married, the wife end up taking on the business aspect of things.
Right,
So
right,
she
that
might have been doing that, and she might feel like she's entitled to
right.
because she was
Right,
probably managing him at some point.
right, and that I definitely get that, and I totally understand. But my thing is like, if you again, you're to me, marriage is a partnership. Marriage is, is working next to your coworker. You know what I'm saying? It's working next to your better half. So to say I made more than him, now are we in competition with each other? And then when she just kept saying, and then the daughter said it too, she kept saying he left. He left. She said it like he chose his ending, or he chose to leave, or chose to go to the store. No, that's not a choice. He was mentally struggling, what I mean, suffering from depression, suffering from mental illness, to make a
Was he
decision like
though? Was he, or was he suffering from her mouth?
that. Could, I mean, verbal and emotional abuse could have been that as well. That's what I said, allegedly. I don't know what it was, to make him take his own life, but what thoughts were running through his mind beforehand. I'm just saying, to say that he left, as in like he went to the store real quick. No, that's a whole decision that you make. You're ending your whole existence. You're cutting yourself off from your family. You're no longer on this earth physically. Like, the way she just said that, I was like,
Does
her
anybody
verbiage, I
know?
just didn't
Okay,
like
so
it.
I used to work in major crimes for the Air Force. Normally,
Okay.
when a person, because I actually specialized in suicides and major crimes like the killings and stuff like that, like murder. So I want to know if he left a note, because most people that do this, they will leave some kind of a letter or some kind of an indication, or the only thing that she has is this journal. Or was there a letter left, like when he was in the hotel? Was there a letter written by him that says, listen, I'm done?
Right. That's what I'm saying. She didn't say that part, but she went. First of all, I was so I'm a little confused. Okay, she found the drugs in the closet. If you could find them the day of the funeral, the day before the funeral, how come you ain't find them like 2 weeks before or a month before? I just don't understand that part. He hit him that
But she
well.
said that she was pulling out the clothes for him to be dressed in. His
Oh, for him. Okay, got that. Okay, great. But again, you don't go through your husband's closet at all throughout your whole day to day. You don't clean his closet. You don't help fix his clothes up. You don't put him back in the when you take him to the cleaners, or if you washing them, you doing laundry. You don't go in his closet at all. Like, how far apart is the closet? Is it in the same room, or is it? I mean, I know they rich and all. I know everybody got separate closets and they got a whole situation. But I'm just like, how far is this closet? Like, is it a 3-story closet? You couldn't find it. Like, the whole situation
Well,
is
that
extremely
them
weird.
Hollywood people be having them walk-in closets. I don't
Right,
know.
I get the walk-in closet with you organize the shoes, and then you got the whole the desk and the compartment for the jewelry and all that. I get that part. He likes hats. I'm sure you got a whole little piece of hat section. I get that part. But I'm sorry. And again, if you had the complexion for the connection, you would know. Black women, we going through your stuff. I don't care how much stuff you got. I'm going through your stuff. I'm sorry.
Right,
Like, I'm
right.
sorry. Like,
As I'm cleaning up, I'm slipping a
I'm
little bit.
checking shit. Like, I'm checking it. I'm sorry. I hate
It's a
to.
It's a cleaning / shakedown. It's the
That's
final
it. It's
shake.
a whole toss these cells. Let's go toss them. Let's pull his mattress up. Everything. I'm sorry, but I hate to I don't I am nobody and no means I'm racist or prejudiced or anything like that. But as women, we are. I'm sorry. We are naturally inquisitive. I won't say nosy. I'll say inquisitive.
Right. Nosy.
I'm not gonna say nosy, but we are inquisitive. I'm checking your toothbrush. Cause I want to know if it's wet or dry. Did you brush your teeth today? I'm checking your washcloth to make sure it ain't hard and dry. I'm making sure it's wet and soft. Like, what's going on? Like, I have to see. I have to know what's going on. I'm sorry.
Especially if he left and gone for 24 hours. Like, where was the police call?
Right.
Missing
Like,
person report. Like,
right.
how did they
Right.
find him at the hotel? Like,
Right.
why is it that the hotel people found him, but she didn't have a missing person report after 24 hours of missing?
Because she didn't. To me, didn't care. Because I'm like, unless he told you he was going out of town for business or something like that. If he didn't tell you that, you should have been cool. Sometimes people call so soon. I've even heard 911 callers say you gotta wait 12 hours and then call us back to presume them missing. If it's been like an hour, they'd be like, we can't even do nothing about that. They could just be, going somewhere that or whatever. We can't send people out to find them after an hour. They'd be like, you gotta wait like at least 8 hours, 12 hours, or 24 hours to call us back. You wouldn't even make one 911 call at all. How concerned were you?
Holly, you need to come up. You saying a lot. It's a lot to read, so you need to just come on up. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't read all this. Hallelujah. Come on up.
I know. I'm trying to keep up with time. Get on up here, Hallelujah. Get on up
right.
here.
Like, bro, I can't read. It's a lot. She got a lot to say. So come on up. Okay.
Yeah, come on up. Join
That's a lot.
join the panel. We
She,
don't bite.
spin it in a way like she's angry that she ought to sell, but she's mad. It's a lot. So come on up.
She sounds very bitter. She does. She sounds bitter. She was like, he left because he left. And then the daughter is repeating and regurgitating what she's hearing her mother say. And I'm like, that's not right. To me, that girl is 16 years old. Oh, hello? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard something.
Holly, you got like a... Okay. Girl, where are you at? Are you outside? What's that sound?
Oh. Yeah, you may have to jot down and come.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I told you I was 53, girl. I'm going through them hot flashes. I had to turn my fan on.
Oh, okay.
How are you ladies doing?
We
Good
good. We
morning,
good. Now, you were
afternoon. We
making some
good.
good points in the comments, but it was so many I couldn't even say them all. So
Yeah, we could.
Girl,
Yeah, I
I'm
was
sorry.
trying to keep up too. I was like,
I'm so sorry, ladies. But yeah, so as I was saying, Tuck TV, now he's real reputable. He has an email that he came out with from a reputable source because he just doesn't take anybody, to say anything that he posts on his channel. But there's a whole email out that they're not talking about the former employee who stated that Twitch Boss never checked in there. There's no footage, there's no receipts, there's no anything. So Ringo, like I said, shout out to Ringo. I was watching Ringo TV, and he made a good point. It didn't happen at the hotel. They can if you think about it, Manny, his friend, came out and said he was going to leave you, and I told him to stay because of the kids. My theory is that he may have walked in on Allison and Acho, and he helped her do it. I mean, that's how I feel about it, because he hadn't even came out and even spoke about it. And they said that Acho was really in love with her, allegedly, and he would do anything for her. And then all of a sudden, you use him and kick him to the curb. What'd you have him do? And he offed himself, supposedly, allegedly, with her gun.
we talked about that yesterday about why is it that she would off, what I'm saying, himself with her gun. He probably had his own.
Yeah. So I don't think it happened in the hotel. But like I said, they said it's a former employee, that they're not speaking of. And then first she said he walked to the hotel. Then she said he took an Uber to the hotel. Which one is it?
And then didn't she walk to the police station? Like, I'm like, bro,
now here's the thing.
Why didn't you call the police station? Have them come to the house. Hey, my husband.
That part. I think she had his body placed there. I don't think he was off, because my thing is he was in the shower. He was naked when they found him. He had a towel around his neck. I mean, who takes the time to do all that?
Yeah, a towel around his neck. What?
I guess from where he dried off from the shower. Yeah, they had a towel. He had a towel wrapped around it, not choked out, but like, you throw a towel over your neck.
Like he had just got out the shower. So who's gonna get out the shower and that's not normal. That is not a normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they found it in the shower, and they said his clothes was nice and neat and folded up and everything. I was like, what? Like they was just placed there. But see, what the news is not telling anybody is that the former employee said, because she was working the front desk, Twitch didn't come there. She's a former employee. Again, Twitch didn't. They're not saying this on the mainstream. They're rolling with what we're hearing. You know what I mean? The former employee said Twitch never came there. There's no evidence of him being there. She didn't see him, and she worked that day. She said, "Yeah, girl."
I was just gonna say, so they did. I mean, as far as him checking in, did they do
no?
Checking in?
That's what the former employee said. He never checked in. That's why there's no camera
That's even
footage.
more crazy. Why he didn't check in?
Oh, see what I'm saying? That's how I'm not being funny. I swear to goodness, I think that situation was suspicious from the jump, because I was like, he seems so happy, on Ellen and stuff like that. And my thing now, her and the wife, they done ran over to the UK and talking about so under the guise of, oh, Trump's gonna be inaugurated or whatever. So now they're gone. And Hesh was funny too. I was like, something ain't right.
Something's not right. But I mean, if you look at it from a holistic, I'm a registered nurse, so they train us like German shepherds. You know what I mean? But if you look at the whole totality of the case, you got with this man Acho was smiling in Twitch's face, calling, "Oh, it's my brother." He was all on TikTok, on Twitch's, TikTok, like he was a good friend of his. But the whole time you sleeping with his wife, if she can get you to betray him like that, my thing is, what else could she get you to do?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So but like I said, the former employee, and like I said, if you go on Tough TV, he's got that. Yeah,
I'm on here right now. I'm gonna try to play it. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. And he's reputable, and he don't just pull up anything and put it out there if it's not from a reputable source.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Tough TV. Let's see. Hold on. All right, here we go. Is this the video you're talking about right here?
I didn't see all of it. I just seen the video. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I didn't watch all of it. I just read the email that he had posted up there.
Okay, when you see, I'm just going off of what. Okay, I'm just going to play this. Shouts out, video credit to Tough News TV. Shouts
How
out.
he feels about Allison actually writing the so-called tell-all book and making some disparaging accusations within that book about Twitch. Now he goes by Zachary Ball Salas on Instagram, so I want you to check out what he had to say.
Well, I just have to say something. You know, I feel like somebody from Steven's natural family should say something. And the last time that I recorded, I pretty much was talking about the NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and how we were asked to sign it in order to see Steven or memorialize him at his funeral. And I'll be honest, you know, I'm not a celebrity. It was very difficult to navigate the whole concept of having to sign a piece of paper in order to see my cousin, whom I loved and valued. And so that was very difficult. But the entire time that we were asked to sign that NDA, the rhetoric was that we were doing so to protect his legacy. And as I stand today and I hear what's in the news and I see what's going on today, I refuse to believe that NDA, the reasons why we were asked to sign the NDA had any merit, because there's nothing that happened today that was meant to protect his legacy. And, you know, sadly, it's just a time where we're having to peel back the layers and see just a tidbit of what Steven had to endure. And being that none of us, the family, you know, for a person to be married to somebody that committed suicide, and then that person supposedly find a shoebox, disclose the contents of the shoebox with the entire world, then read that your loving husband's journal, private personal journal, and then share the contents of that with the world, it's very difficult to believe that you have any interest in protecting his legacy. And you have kids. You're always talking about how you're so concerned with how the family moves and the things that is being said on our personal pages. But you can go straight to the source and find out that you're delivering contents of shoeboxes. So let me ask the question, who stands to gain from this? Is it the world or is it you? Because nobody benefits from you supposedly dropping dimes about your late husband. Honestly, that's the weirdest energy. It's weird. We all know that knew Steven, that loved him. When he died, we all showed him honor. We've all showed him appreciation. We've given him tributes. We've given him posts. You can carry on the charade with the public world, but we know exactly who you are. We see you. We dialed you up. And at the end of the day, you can act like however you want to act. You can be as Hollywood as you want to be, but you still got to live with yourself. Do you like what you see in the mirror? A liar, a narcissist? For what? You leverage Steven's death to elevate yourself. It's sad. It's sad, and you know, I just know it needs to be said, and I don't know who's gonna say it. I don't know, but it's me. You know, it's me. And you know, Steven was somebody. He was great. He was remarkable. He was talented. He was gifted. He was nurturing. He was respectful. He was mindful. And I know 100% that if the shoe was on the other foot, he wouldn't be revealing the contents of your shoebox with the world, and your journal would be intact with him, because he'd have respect and honor for who you were.
He would have respect and honor for who you were, you know. So this is like the family. Our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son. Stephen Boss. The recent publications spreading untruths about Stephen have crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let these accusations go unanswered. I will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He does not deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I've remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realize I could not stay silent any longer. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected. We are committed to defending his honor. Connie Boss Alexander. What do y'all have to say about that?
Hey, I believe her, but and kudos to his mama. Kudos to his mama. I'm trying to find that video of where he's actually talking about, like, he's got the email shown from a reputable source, and I actually took a picture of it. So I'm trying to find that. So while you're talking, I'm still here, but I'm trying to find it on Tough TV's picture.
Okay, well, while you're finding that, let's go get into the lawyer and what she has to say about this NDA that's not even a real NDA.
Valid. It can't be.
Let's go into that. Let's go.
Was when his family notified or released that she actually made his mother sign an NDA to attend his funeral. Made his entire family. We know that his family had to sign an NDA, but it's not clear if she made others. His family had to sign an NDA. I'm going to read some statements on that and some commentary. And then I want to close with explaining to you guys, joke's on you, Allison, because that NDA likely isn't valid at all. And we'll talk about the legal reasons why. Now, to start off, she wants to clear the air now that she sat down with People magazine. And this book she's going to be profiting off of. And she says she's made this statement. It says, to the fans of Stephen and our family and friends, I want to be clear. My only intention in writing the book is to share my own story, as well as part of the life with Stephen to help other people. Just like you, I never really knew what happened. And even as I am trying to put the pieces together, I'll never really know. If you decide to read the book, i.e. buy the book, if you decide to buy the book, hopefully you'll see my intention is to celebrate the love and life I shared with Stephen and our 3 beautiful children. The 3 beautiful children that you no longer share a name with because you decided you don't want to go by Boss anymore. And also our 3 beautiful children, and also the more complex aspects of both of our lives. I hope that by sharing our full story, maybe I can help someone else who might see themselves or a loved one in Stephen. In sharing, I hope that maybe they can catch some of the red flags that I missed before it's too late. Over the course of the last 2 years, I've spoken in detail with NAMI, which is a nonprofit, as well as the Solomon family and the Defensive Line Foundation to better educate myself on mental health issues so that I can share warning signs with others. All of the proceeds from this book are going to fund mental health focused foundation I started in Stephen's honor, Move with Kindness. My hope is that we don't need to lose another husband, brother, or father, or friend to unaliving. I believe that if Stephen were able to choose, he would choose to have his story told if it meant saving even one life. Much love to all those who have supported our family over the years. Now, I'll say this. I think talking about signs that in retrospect you feel like you missed but could have picked up on, I think that's admirable. I think that should be done. But the way now, the details that are being revealed of the way in which she's gone about this whole thing has everyone side-eyeing her. And this is her responding to some of accusations that she has disgraced Stephen with what she's doing. Now, this person, Energize You, is actually a close family friend of theirs. And she said, this whole thing made me sad. He's gone. Why tear apart his name? I was fully supportive about you moving in and being happy, or probably moving on and being happy. But this paycheck was not worth disgracing his name. She writes, I'll always love you. Just trying to help people feel safe to ask for help and support.
Hey, Melanie, if you have any people that's on your chat that wants to come up and speak on this, there is the StreamYard link. Do you have, just go ahead and copy that link and put it into your thing. Shouts out to KTS worker. She says, I'm subscribed. I'm a psychotherapist and this is burning me up. Exactly. Why would a person do this? You know, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous. I think we just lost Hallelujah, but she said she about to send me this okay, I think she did, or did she? No, just not yet. Yeah, because I want to see this email that happened, because that's crazy. Let's go.
Her friend wrote back, I love you too. It's so hard to hear, and I imagine it can't be easy going through what you've been through. There will be a lot of hate thrown your way, but it's not for me to judge such a difficult situation. It's just so hard to digest. Yeah.
Maybe he cheated as well, but that does not mean that you put out and air out all his stuff. Listen, he might have cheated. She was cheating. They was both cheating. That does not mean that you put out his personal diary after his demise, but then you make the family sign an NDA. Like, what are we doing? What is going on? You make the family sign an NDA, but you don't honor your own husband's memory by not airing out his dirty laundry about whatever happened to him as a child. That's crazy.
And picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out. But it also helped me process that he was going through so much.
So you didn't know he was going through so much? Melanie, are you there? Melanie.
Sorry, Genesis. I'm here. My computer's very slow. What's going on? Yeah, I'm just listening. I told you I don't like this lady. I don't trust her.
I want you to drop the StreamYard link into your thing if anyone wants to come up and make a commentary, if they know more about this that we don't know. There's a StreamYard link that I put into my, I don't know how to, I'm putting it in the private so you can put it onto yours. Hold on.
Okay. Hold on. Let me
if anyone wants to come up, if they know anything more about this situation, because really this is, I would hate for me to pass away and my husband put out my personal diary.
I told you I didn't get it. She's doing it under the guise of she's trying to help other people. No, you're not. You put out that was an unnecessary detail that the public did not need to know. And then for you to sit around here and then throw paperwork on his family so they can't tell their story. No, you didn't want anybody telling about you, or saying how he felt about you.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to silence them. So again, I don't like this lady. I didn't, at first I thought she was okay. Then I'm like, okay, all right, she's writing a book, about, again, she's a widow, she's grieving. This is her healing process. But I was like, what? Even if he was on drugs or however it went, he's not here to defend himself. We don't know his last thoughts. We don't know what ran through his mind before he took his life. So why even throw that out there like that? And you're tarnishing his legacy. Now his kids are going to see this on the internet.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that doing to them?
Hallelujah. I also put my email in the back chat just in case you couldn't send it to my IG. If you couldn't find me, please send it because I would like to go over that email that you have.
I'm ready to send it to you right now because I just had to create an account on Strip. Like, what is going on? But I'm ready to send it to your email.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
A man leaves his family to take a wife and starts his own in their family, but not sure why she spoke his secrets. Maybe his born family is trying to get his money. We don't know. Man, no.
Yeah, we don't, like
even
I said,
if they are, like, that's his family. It's
but I will say this though, again, as his wife, again, when you marry, again, first in line, the order, the order of chain of command or whatever, the order of things, his wife is, gets his benefits or whatever else, whatever he has going on, then it's his kids, then it will be his family after that. My thing is, I don't even see the family really suing for any, like, monetary gain or writing any books. I just see them trying to protect his legacy. She the one out here throwing him under the bus.
Man,
Exactly.
2 days after he died, she applied to get like the half control of the
I
estate.
bet she did. And the way,
And
and again, the
and
way she
she
signed it
changed
on
her
that
name.
phone.
Yeah,
I'm
she
sorry.
changed her name on Instagram too. She changed it back to her.
Wow.
48 hours after he passed.
Damn.
Right, an hour after he passed away, she changed her last name on her Instagram. What? You're saying
I just,
as she should change her last name? Like, what are we doing here?
right. I just sent you the email.
Okay, let me check it.
And you see it has Tough News branding on there, the water. But I took a picture of that.
Yikes. Yeah, that's going to go to probate court. They all gonna be in probate court fighting over that. Crazy work.
All right,
And-
so let's see. All right. So TMZ offered several $1,000s to obtain the footage of Twitch entering the hotel, documentation of him actually securing the hotel room, and the XS note that was said to be left in the room. Well, TMZ is normally successful in securing documentation that even your top-notch news networks can't retrieve. They were firmly denied access to it by the hotel and law enforcement. Also, there is a now that's not normal. Freedom of the press, right? The press normally when something like this happens, press has access.
Exactly.
Okay. Also, there is a former employee from the hotel that says that the room that Twitch was found in wasn't checked out to anyone that Monday, or at least there was no documentation confirming that he had checked in. But according to the former employee, there was a gentleman who came in around 9:30 p.m. that Monday night, and he picked up an envelope at the front desk. And it wasn't an envelope that came from the hotel; it was a professional-looking envelope.
And I'm trying to find the rest of that email because they said then he left in a minivan, a white minivan. See, that's why there was no. Now, shouts out to Ringo. Ringo, covered it, looked at the cameras and everything. They had cameras, and this is according to the current employees. They had cameras at the front desk. So why is there no footage of him checking in?
Yeah, this sounds like an insurance job, you guys. It's something weird.
You see, I'm trying to tell you, I think it was done at home.
So she was married over 10
And he
years.
was
That money was hers and his hard work only. No one deserves money but his wife and kids. Okay, that's fine. However, is it his wife and kids that get to like exploit him and talk about him being essayed when he was whatever years old and showing his diary and putting out his thing and saying that she's doing this for like some mental health organization?
Here's my thing. We don't care about the money. We're not even talking about the money. We're talking about the morals and the values here. That's what we're talking about.
And also, like, how did he really pass away? Because when it really comes down to it, did he really pass away? Did he pass from a suicide, or did he pass away from something else?
But this is where my mindset goes with that. Is she throwing in, the drugs and the essay? That could be good and well and true, but is she throwing that in to divert and deflect the attention off of the real reason why he was, off this planet? Because I'm like, those were unnecessary details that we didn't even know. He was allegedly, if he was essayed as a child, he wasn't married to you at the time, and he didn't have those kids at the time. So that y'all can't even begin to understand where he was at in that point in his life. You know what I'm saying? This and third. So to bring it to, if y'all can't understand, y'all weren't there. And y'all didn't exist in his world at that time. Us as the public, why are you bringing that to us? And why you know what I'm saying? Why are you releasing that? That's the part that's tripping me out with her.
That part.
Who are you trying to bring awareness to?
She need money. She probably running out of money, and
that part.
And I think there.
I personally think I think that new boyfriend or whatever he is to her is tricking her down.
He's a CEO of a tech He's a big time
Oh,
CEO
please. They
of
all
a
be
tech company.
CEOs or something. They all be broke. They just be flashing money and be trying to act like they rich
Well,
and they be broke from below.
don't you know his partner? It's been all over the news. I just didn't know who he was. His
Mm-hmm.
partner, who is one of the CEOs in his company, sent the email to the White House, quote unquote, for anti-Semitism.
Mm.
But it's
Mhm.
just, don't you find it just like Diddy? He paid the hotel room off to keep that out of the public eye with Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, tell me why there was no footage, and they got cameras at the front. That's big.
Right. Why don't we show him walking in? Normally when something
Right.
like this happens,
Right.
they will show a person walking into the hotel in the
Yes.
news, right?
Right.
He
Right.
walked into the hotel and he
That's
came back, he didn't come back, whatever. They did none of this is showing.
I hate to,
And
Because
it's
there is
all
no
kind of
footage.
it's
He
weird.
got
It's weird.
placed there. It's common sense
right.
to get placed there.
And I hate to say it even too. Like, not to be funny, like, first of all, I didn't even realize it's been what, 2 years since he passed?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's been about 2 years since he passed. But when it happened, it just seemed like it was an easy cleanup. It was a quick cleanup.
That part.
It was a quick, let's get this story out. He unalived himself. I didn't even see them really honor him in anything. I didn't see them. I ain't see Ellen do
There was no investigation. No, Ellen did. Ellen
Okay,
did.
she did the dedication tour. Okay, because I
Yeah,
I don't
but
be
the
home
wife
during the day.
didn't.
So
But the wife did not
the
one
wife
time.
thing. That's why I'm like, what? I don't know. I'm sorry. The whole situation is just, it's a little
Look,
weird to me.
what
And the
did
way
my
she's I'm
grandma
sorry, go
used
ahead.
to say? If it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, it's a duck. It
It's a
is
duck.
what it
I'm
is.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Something about it just, and I'm like, you have minor children. Again, that girl, her oldest daughter is 16, and I get it and I understand. Again, she's 16. Girls
Why is she
mature
even
faster.
saying anything? She need to be
I
quiet.
don't even know why she's even chiming in because first of all, and I said that in my video, when I was 16, I wasn't in my mother and father business.
That's right.
I didn't have no type of I didn't have an opinion on it. Whatever they were going through,
Sure,
whatever
exactly.
whatever they had going on, I don't chime in. Again, I get it.
Mm-mm.
This is the age. Again, this is the age of social media. These kids
Yes.
are jumping on their phones. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. You don't go on and make no statements for me and say what I'm feeling this and the third. You don't gotta give an opinion to nobody.
Right.
But now, if
That's
she
some
doing
grown
what
folks' business. Why
I
are you
don't
in
even
the grown folks'
if
business?
she
No.
right.
doing what her mama told her to do?
She doing what her
Hey,
mother told her because when she also said herself, she said he left, and I'm like,
she's
how you
verbatim.
saying the
Yes.
same thing? I
Yep.
said,
Right.
oh no, this
What
is
the
But
heck?
ridiculous.
And then and then his Steven and Connie and blah and this
First,
and
yeah,
that. Like,
I
really?
was appalled by that because I said that man done provided you well off. You are well off, and you calling him by his first name?
and
Oh,
still
fuck
living off his
child bye,
money. Still living off his money.
child bye. And he would be
But
daddy all
here's the
day to
kicker
you.
though. She said she was the last one to see him alive. She
Oh,
said
I ain't
he
know
got
that part. I ain't
yeah,
know
she
that
said
part.
he got up and cooked her breakfast and took her to school. That's what she said.
And she called him Steven.
That part, people missing that one. Yeah, that's what she said.
Right.
Yep.
He making breakfast, taking her to school. What's wrong with
Yes.
why the mom ain't doing it?
You
What's
hear
up with
me?
Yeah,
that?
that's how I was a little thrown off
And then
by
you
that.
call him Steven? Like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing? Like,
Right.
what?
And mind you, she said he was in her life for well over what, like 10 years or something like that. She's only 16.
Well,
So
no, since
He
she
got
was 3, since
since
she
she
yes.
was
was 3.
Yep.
4 years
Right.
old.
So that was at least 12 to 13 years. So that's pretty much your whole life because you're
Yes.
16. That's pretty
She
much your whole life. So you telling me at this point you still calling him by his first name? Oh, you know what? Mhm.
she could have
When did that
Mr.
start?
Her.
When she had 3, like Steven,
Right. But I
Steve,
did
Papa
see.
Steve. Like, what did you call him? Papa Steven? You just called him Steven
Well,
at 3.
she went
But
live on she
they
went
said
live on
she called him
Instagram.
dad. They said she called him dad when he was
She
living.
did. She did. I was just gonna say that she did a live on Instagram. It was
Mm-hmm.
rather long. It was rather
Sure
lengthy.
did.
But in certain parts, she was calling him Steven. In other parts, she did say my dad. He loved us. He loved all his kids and da da da. But I'm like, no, that's inconsistent. Either he's dad or he's Steven. He can't be both. I call my father daddy. I don't call him by his first name. So
Honey,
yeah,
I call my
that's
And
stepdaddy
the
weird.
daddy.
grandma, Connie, and what
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, what?
She
I
could
was
have called
yeah.
her Miss Connie or Miss Boss or come on,
Or
man.
my grandma. That's
Yeah.
it. My
Yeah.
grandma. Like you
But
ain't even gotta.
even if she
That's
didn't feel
weird.
like she ever fit in, I get that. But she still could have had that much respect if she didn't want to say grandma. She could have said Miss.
Yeah. But she was saying the same thing her mother was saying, how his
Yes.
family didn't reach out to them and they don't come see them and da da da. And I'm like, that's just weird.
Well, I mean, why? How do they have the money to do that? You know what I'm saying? He's
That part.
busy
Right.
doing stuff. You know, he probably sent a little change to his mom, but he taking care of 3 kids and her and this wife of his that got to like, you know, whatever her little like things that she wants.
Devin,
So, of
it's too
course,
late for the wife to do it. It's already out there.
Yeah, it's already, it's a little too late for that by now because that daughter done went live on it too. That's the
And,
then
and,
that's
and,
what
and
that's
this
what
is our
added more
business
to it.
because we are the extension of the black race.
Yeah, yeah.
We are.
and this is the reason why I'm really bringing this out is because you know so often like these kind of cases just get thrown like, okay, well, he just suicide, that's it. There's no like real like what, okay, they just make that claim and then that's it. They don't look deeper
They didn't do
into
an
it.
investigation. Did you know
They
it?
didn't. Yeah, I don't personally think they want to do an investigation because I'm not being funny. Again, it was an easy
Daughter is
clean.
16.
They said they didn't. They
It
said
was
there
it
was
was
no
it was a
investigation.
16. The dog 16. Mm-hmm. It
They
was a
said,
it was a quick cleanup. It was an easy
yep.
cleanup, just like the Ann Hess situation. Easy
Girl, did you
cleanup and
see
get her
that
in
when
and get
she
her out.
raised up out that stretcher when she was
Yeah,
still alive
yeah.
and they
And that
pushed her
was a
back down?
and people was people were saying that she rose from the dead, or that was a body bag. That was actually a burn bag because
Thank you.
she was in a burn bag,
Thank
and that's why
you.
she popped up like that because they were
Thank
trying
you.
to cover her wounds.
Yeah.
Everybody's like she was had. I was like, no, that lady wasn't
It's what they
unalive.
don't know. They don't
Right,
know.
right. So I just wanted to put that out there for those that thought that because
Uh-huh.
I'm not even being funny. I thought it too. I was like, yo, did she come out that body bag?
But like
But
I said,
it wasn't a body bag.
I'm
Yeah.
a registered nurse, and that's exactly what I said. I said that's not a body, it's a burn bag.
Yeah, it's a burn bag. Yeah, so that's how. But I mean, like to the naked eye, to like regular lay
Right,
people
right.
like that are not in the medical profession.
Right,
Because
right.
I thought so. I said, yo, she was alive. They killed her. Yeah, I was there. I was all kind of conspiracy theory. I said they did something to her.
Girl, she popped up out of there, huh?
Yeah, that was, but it did. That was spooky as all hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was
They
like,
shoved
yo.
her back down and stuck
Yeah,
her
they
in.
did. They did. Cause
They
she probably
shoved her back down.
They
Yeah,
did.
because she probably was in shock. She just popped up like she probably was in shock and all that. Didn't know.
Yeah,
But she was. But did you see Did you see like the moments, like at least the seconds from
Yes.
from like a door, like a ring
Yes,
camera that would call
yes,
her? She
yes.
was speeding down that highway so fast. I was like, what was she
But
speeding like that
they
from?
trapped her in the alley. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that part.
Girl, that
Oh
whole
boy.
little
Oh
thing,
boy.
they trapped her in the alley too far.
Oh boy, I didn't see that. I told David, I'm telling you, it's giving something that's with people that's surrounded by Ellen is something ain't right. I don't care.
It's crazy.
Oh, you got it up,
Yeah,
Genesis. Yeah,
this her flying down the street. Look,
flying
look.
down the street.
This is after she got trapped in the alley. When she got away from whoever those 2 guys was in that big old SUV. They were in an all black SUV.
So what do you think is going on with that? Like, that's crazy. Like, what is happening?
She was leaving. She had broke up with Ellen, and then they tried to say she was all high and stuff like that. And the guy that when she went in to get I think she was in a store or something, and the guy said she didn't act high and act all erratic and stuff like that. And what she started driving like that when they showed the 2 guys because they had cameras in the alley. She was kind of like it was like a back parking lot or whatever, and 2 guys rode up on her in big looking SUVs, and she tried to back up and get away and back up, and then she just took off. And then that's where what you just showed her smashing down the street. Yeah, girl.
Yeah, it's something more to all this.
It's that is too off. That lady, you telling me that lady just barreling down a residential street like that for no reason in broad daylight?
Yeah,
I
wish when stuff like this come out, they'll show the whole thing.
Right,
know, because then it'll give people a better understanding. But I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
But here's the kicker, though, ladies. Here's the kicker. Allison takes and says, and I forgot what I was ready to say. Go ahead and go with it. I'm ready to remember what I was ready to say, but yeah. I forgot what I was ready to say that quick.
Okay, all right.
They'll come back to you.
All right. Well, let me know when it comes to you.
I sure will.
And he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying
I
to
remember-
self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain.
Okay, you say you remember now?
Yeah, so that part right there. If he didn't want everybody to take on his pain, why would you bring it?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you bring it if he didn't want that? That's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
Here we go.
But it was very alarming and scary to find those things and have never known. A moment, I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet.
All right, that's enough for her. Yeah, I'm reading the comments. Great point, Danielle. No one knew her until his death, and now she's behaving as if his death was her come up. Lara Livingston says she's trying to full on destroy his legacy and promote herself off the back of his life. I love this comment, Scorpion Stinger. It says the things she's sharing were not necessary to achieve what she claims is her intention. And I think that's why
Exactly.
people are upset.
Exactly.
That's why
said the
people
same
are upset.
thing.
In addition,
Yeah.
I said the same thing. It was an unnecessary detail. He's already gone. We don't know the thoughts. He might have found out he was going bankrupt that day. You know what I'm saying? It could have been anything that triggered him and drove him to do that to himself. So we're not in his mind. We weren't in
If
his
he
mind.
did that to himself allegedly. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
that I'm just, you know what I'm saying, I'm allegedly, we just going with it. We just going with it for argument's sake. But I'm just saying, like, we weren't we weren't in his mind that day. We don't know we don't know if he found out he was terminally ill. You know, we don't know if he found, you know what I mean, anything could have was going through his mind, or voices were talking to him. We don't know, or if he even did it to himself. We don't know. But why even
Devin,
release that?
Devin, how did he love drugs and overdose when the news specifically said he didn't? The coroner said he didn't have drugs in his body.
No drugs in his body, Devin. I don't know why
Yeah.
you keep saying stuff like this.
Yeah,
She been the whole time. Maybe he was cheating. Maybe this. Maybe he was doing that. He did not have no drugs in his system. And on top of him not having drugs in the system, they said that he passed away of a G-shot wound to the head or to the whatever, and no one heard the G-shot wounds. Okay, no one saw him check into a hotel room.
And there's no footage.
Listen,
and that, like they said, they have
none in the system, Devin. Nothing.
Like none.
No drugs in the system. So all this, her bringing out drugs, is for what? Listen, KTS worker, I want you to come up here. Melanie, could you drop the link for her, because she's a psychologist and she understands mental illness, and I want to hear what she has to say. She's been up here. She's been dropping gems in the chat, but I can't. You know, it's a lot of people talking in the chat. So yeah, I want you to, like, KTS, if you can, come on up. You know,
I can't. It's not allowing me to. I don't have the option to drop the link because it's not. I didn't initiate the chat.
Oh yeah, Devin, it's bigger. It's bigger. So yeah,
okay, hold on.
I can see your point if you don't know, but yeah, it's bigger than like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Devin, because Devin's cool. Devin's cool people. She's one of my subscribers, and I think she's just trying to gain more gain more knowledge on the situation and what's going on.
Oh no, she's giving gems in us, so that's why I'm like, okay, come up, because I'm like,
oh yeah, shout out to KTS work as well. She's one of my subscribers as well, but I'm talking about Devin. Devin is cool too. She cool people.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem, Devin. You know, KTS, I want you to come up. Here's the link.
Devin, for a G-shot wound to the head. It wasn't. Yeah, he didn't die of overdose. I was mentioning Zachary Timms. That was a prominent priest in not priest. I'm sorry, a minister, pastor in Florida. That's what I was talking about with the drugs and died of an overdose. But no, Twitch. He allegedly, according to the medical report, was a G-shot wound to the head. It wasn't drug related at all. That's what I'm saying. Like, when she said she found these drugs, that's what made it odd and weird, because he didn't die of an overdose.
Right.
Now that would have made more sense to make it connect. But for him to die of a wound to the head like that, and then you say you found drugs, that was an unnecessary detail because it didn't even connect.
Exactly.
So what did you even throw that out there for? And it wasn't like he touched any of your kids or touched any other kids. So to throw in the essay as a child, that didn't connect.
Right. So it's a money grab. It's a money grab, bro. It's
What's
a
up,
straight
LS?
up money grab.
Yeah, very that right, very. So that's what we're saying, Devin. Like that's what they because she's trying to like gain an understanding of what you know what I
Right,
mean, like
right,
the
right.
surrounding circumstances. So that's why we're saying it was really unnecessary to even mention drugs or the essay, and he mentioned that essay in his allegedly in his personal journal, which we're not even supposed to be privy to.
I don't believe nothing that comes out that lady's mouth.
And I'm like, you didn't even show it. That's only why you ain't even. I mean, not to be funny, but at this point, why you ain't show the handwritten journal?
Exactly.
It ain't. It's
And
not
if it
gonna make.
is,
It ain't gonna bring them back. It ain't gonna do nothing else.
if it is a journal, whose
If there
handwriting?
is, I think this. I think that whole finding them drugs was all just to throw it
It
off. I'm telling you,
is. Yeah,
it was to
of
throw it off
course.
because she was cheating on that man with a married man, and now she gonna like even more dirtbag. And he might have did that because he found out she was cheating on him,
Yep.
and that might have took him over the edge.
But well, a few months after he died, she was cheating on him without that didn't just start. That because let her tell it. Oh well, he's not treating. That's what she told Acho. He's not treating me right. Blah 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 blah. That's and then Acho. Well, I'm gonna this and that. Yeah, girl. He had to been seeing. She had been seeing Acho. Had to be.
Yeah, that's something. Yep, and shout out to Taurus. Taurus said something also good too. Taurus said I found it suspect that Ellen was being accused of PDF. Yep, before and then these things happen and nobody really talking about Ellen exactly.
Well,
And she ran
hold
to the
on.
UK.
Hold on. This Allison took and said that she sold the house. Now, listen to what she said verbatim. This is not allegedly. She said she sold the house because she was scared for her and her children's life. And then turned around and said Diddy and Ellen was threatening her. And then turned around and bought a $5 million house down the street. Come on now.
What?
Girl, yes.
I'm
Girl,
I'm telling you, this
I
whole
can find
situation
that video, honey. She sure did say it. So if you scared of your life from Diddy and Ellen, so now you trying to throw it off on Diddy. You see how
Yeah, they will throw anybody on the bus to cover their tracks. And also, I heard allegedly, I forgot where I read this, what site I was on, but they said allegedly Twitch, walked in like on like a private call or like a meeting or some sort like that he overheard Ellen, saying some more, kind of like I guess things that weren't good for her reputation or whatever like that, and that could be part of the reason why,
I don't believe that. I believe it was her and Nacho allegedly. And she, because why else would she come out and say, "Oh, Diddy and Ellen was threatening my life, and I had to sell the house for me and my kids' safety." So, and then turn around and bought a house down the street.
KTS worker PDF because we can't say it for algorithm purposes is for pedo, child, diddlers, child diddlers.
Yes, diddlers. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I mean, but why would somebody say that? Because she
I
knew
put
that
it in
was a
there.
narrative.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I can't put the link in your thing because maybe you have it set up to where I put it in there, but it's not showing up.
Can you Genesis? Can you send it to me in the DM and then I'll put it in that way?
Yeah.
Devin, it goes deeper. It goes deeper, and what you're saying is true, but it goes deeper than that, sweetie. It goes way deeper. You got to look at the whole narrative that's been spun.
Yeah, so let's go a little bit further into the lawyer and what she's saying because it's a lot going on with this.
Yes,
it's a lot. It's sad.
His autopsy. So she claims he's a drug addict. Well, his autopsy listed no drugs in his system at all. So his family is livid with that. I'm pulling that up now. His family is livid with that. How are you have a drug addict with no drugs in their system? I'm going to tell you, number one thing that a drug addict would have in their system is drugs. Also, if a drug addict were about to unalive themselves, you best believe they'd be high as a kite, baby. High as a kite. Also, we're going to here, let me move this tab. His brother was hot, baby. His brother was hot. So this is a post his brother, Manny Cross, has posted. He said, "Dear Allison, you have lied for the last time on my brother. He was absolutely no addict." Let me make sure it's on the screen. You can see it. Okay. I know it's small, but he was absolutely no addict. You will say and do anything for $1. An addict? You are the one that was messing with Coke, Molly, and X. I believe it. I have all the proof. Play with somebody safe. Country boy right here. I don't give a F. Every person who knew him knows you're lying and have been doing dirty crap for a long time. Should I post our last conversation? Try me. You have no idea what I have to post. Here's a few questions I have for you, though. Let me see if I can make this bigger. He says, why did you make my mom sign an NDA to see her son's body? Why did his closest friends and family have to sign an NDA to attend his funeral? Why did you lie at the funeral about how every day was magical? It wasn't. He told me everything. You had to try and demonize Nelson, and now I see why. I don't know who Nelson is. You demonize anyone in his life that found out the truth about you. You will say his friends aren't his friends. You will discredit anyone that knows the truth. You are a toxic woman, and I truly believe he would still be alive had he not married you. My only regret is telling him to work on it with you for the sake of the kids. When he talked to me about leaving you, I knew it.
So he was talking about leaving. He was talking about leaving. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
And then Allison Holker's boyfriend's wife filed for divorce 1 week after paparazzi caught them golfing. So he busted holding hands with Allison at the golf course before she put out this whole documentary, whatever book that she about to like talk about how. So she appeared with this married dude. His wife filed for divorce, and then this whole book come out.
Well, it
I'm
came out.
saying
It came out where she posted a subliminal picture of him and her holding hands, like two shadow figures, but it was like a mystery man. And then, so everybody's like, well, who's her boyfriend? Who's the new guy? Who this, who that? And then, I don't even think he wanted it out yet because he was still married. You see what I'm saying? And then they got busted here with this picture that you're showing, and that's when the wife seen it. And he's been married to her for 20 years with 3 kids.
wow. And we know that that Allison is used to having like emotional relationships. We covered that in my last live.
Yes, sure did.
Where you're talking about how she was with that other Emmanuel Aiko, where she just walking out the hotel and they can't catch her. They filming somebody else and she walking down the dang steps.
That's what I Scorpio Devin. That's what I said too. He might have called her. I think he called her with Acho. I really do.
This is sad.
Yeah,
it's really sad. Let's go.
I knew it. I just didn't know the full truth, just like everyone that supports you. We were both in the same situation, married to toxic narcissists that loved Black men as a fetish, that will lie and cry wolf and twist narratives and so-called evidence to be a victim and make a dollar. We didn't have our dads the way we wanted, so we persevered through the bull to be the best fathers that we could. Today is the last day that you do this. I was contacted about a TV show last year, and after sending their condolences about me losing Stephen, guess what the producer said about you? The same thing all of them said about you. You're a money-hungry, lying narcissist that will play victim and say and do anything for a dollar. Last question. Wasn't it your pow that was used? Ciao.
Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she just said?
Keep playing with my brother's name. This is the year of the truth. Everything is offline. Nothing is off limits. ADHD, forever. Oh, somebody forever. Wasn't it your pow that was used? I'll tell you this. I don't know anyone happily married that's unalived themselves. I don't know. I know multiple people who have. I don't know a one with a supportive wife who's there for them and supports them and makes life easier. Who does that? So I'm lending a lot of credence to what the family is saying. Yep, Lisa Love said, I knew he wanted a divorce. Mm-hmm. She's a witch and a killer. They only love they love Black men. Ooh, my goodness. we like everybody over here, okay? You're Caucasian and you're watching this. You're my cousin too, and in the eyes of the Lord. Now, if you marry a white woman whose family is racist and their anti-blackness will
Hey, listen, this let me just say this. This whole case is getting into race, okay? It is getting very strong about race, and let me
And they're
say
missing
this,
the
it's
whole
getting
point.
into this, it's getting into this.
But did you
You
hear
know what I'm
what she just
saying?
said?
It's getting into that. You know what I'm saying? Is getting very much, this. You know what I'm saying?
Did you? Yeah, Dr.
If you
Luana.
know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
getting
yeah.
into the this and the this, okay? With the you know what I'm saying, it's getting into this. So
Did you hear what she just said?
let's just be real about what's happening here. Hey, what's up, KTS? Thank you for joining the panel.
Of course.
Hi, KTS.
Hey, I'm white, in case anybody
It
wants to
don't
know.
matter. It don't matter.
What's
Hey,
going on,
listen,
KCS?
it's
We
okay. You
colorblind.
can be white. Listen. That's why I brought that up. Is like because it's we're not. I'm not a racist person.
Yeah,
Same
we
here.
you good.
I'm 29% Scandinavian. I just found that out on my ancestry history.
You Viking girl? Not just kidding.
I'm Scandinavian. I'm like, well, I'm
Li-
Scandinavian.
Listen, we all a little piece of white on our daddy
You know
side.
what,
Don't worry
Shanae?
about it. We
We don't
So
see color.
I'm not against the white people because I'd be against myself. I'm just saying the more that people are talking about that, it's becoming a racial thing because
right,
Right.
you
right.
know. So
But
KTS, please don't think that when I'm saying that. I mean, it is
right,
a
we
little bit of
right.
They're
common.
No.
missing the
And then
point.
shout out to Devin. Devin is white as well. So shout out to
Yeah, like
Devin.
listen, I'm just it's I mean,
Devin already know she's my Caucasian sister in Christ. Don't worry about it.
Right.
right, I'm bringing up the Umar Johnson, the snow bunny.
Oh,
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
I don't see
hey,
nothing. I don't see
I'm
how they're
not.
gonna
I'm
make
not
it
worried.
as
I think this group is really aimed at like truth
get into the truth. Right,
and
yeah.
getting
right,
out of shenanigans that
right,
are
right.
commonly sold to us as the
Right.
public. Yeah.
And
So
and
cool.
I just wanted to add real quick, KTS, and I appreciate you for being up here. But I just wanted to say real quick, it's unfortunate we are definitely at we're honing in and trying to get to the bottom of things and get to the truth. But unfortunately, race does play a role in at some point because
Oh
of how.
yes.
Of course, of how the story is being narrated, of how she's being
Hmm.
seen and shown in the limelight, and how quickly, again, like I said, it seemed to me his unalignment was a quick cleanup. It was just a hurry up, let's get this wrap this up and we on to the next story. It didn't drag out like I think it would have dragged out for other people. But
And
you know,
racism at every level, not
that part.
just
But it shouldn't
in
even be like that. It
interpersonal,
should
but
just be because there's white Caucasian, there's Caucasians speaking out against her too. So I don't
Right, right,
understand.
right, right. No, right. I
well,
definitely understand. But those are again,
Right,
those are our Caucasoid friends that are fair and understand what it is. But
right.
you have some that are
right.
on some. Yeah, let's just wrap
To
this up. No,
BS.
no, she's poor woe was her. She's the
Right.
widow and she's
right.
grieving. Da, da, da. No, if you're grieving, then you tell your pain and what you're going
That's
through.
right.
Why do I need to know that he was essayed as a child? What
Well,
is
That's
that
right.
doing for me?
there's institutional racism that
That part.
is built in at every part of our social construct that comes to play in this as well. So totally agree.
All right, so I want to like know. Okay, you say you have a history in psychology and as a psychologist or a psychiatrist,
Um, Psychotherapist, yes,
psychotherapist, right?
as
So,
also a
so
certified healthcare ethicist.
okay, so like, tell me this, right? So she said that there's two things that I find fishy about this.
Mhm.
One, and we actually talked about this. I mean, people might not know this. We talked about in the last live. Okay, black people do not put drugs in boxes. I'm sorry, I've never heard people putting
It's
drugs in
cultural.
boxes in the closet.
Right,
Okay,
right.
that's number one. Number two, why would a person that's about to off themselves not take the box with them to the hotel to get high before they like if they have a drug addiction, right? She says that he had a drug
Right,
addiction, right?
right.
Why wouldn't he take it with him? You know, is that a normal thing? I mean,
And
Yeah,
because
why wouldn't he be high when he did it?
That part.
why would you
right.
be that means that he's under some psychological duress at a point to where he is so like fed up or
Right.
whatever he's going through.
Right.
He said, you know what, this is the end of my thing, and
Right,
that's it, and
right,
whatever. So
right.
to
So,
me,
so two things stand out to me. Number one, you're correct. Those that have an addiction issue and commit suicide, there's a very high correlation of having positive, you know, uh, what do you want to call it, illegal or even at this day prescribed toxins in their body at the time of committing the act of suicide. The other thing is, given his age, as time goes on, as lifespan goes on, and you get older and older, there are certain risk factors that make you more susceptible to being suicidal. And one of those things is a history of suicide attempts,
Exactly. That's
a
right.
history of suicidal ideation,
Ideation.
or like um, you can also say gestures. But either way, I'm questioning where is the history that showed that he was at high risk
That part.
for suicidality. That's where my
Man,
head's
That's
at.
a good point. That's a good point.
shout. That's why I wanted to bring her up because I
But
knew she would
man,
have been
that's
able.
a
She
good
would have
point.
asked the
Nobody's
question. Like,
asking.
bro, I knew that. I was like,
Yeah,
she fixing to ask some real
that's
questions for
a
real.
dang on good point. Nobody's asking,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. Get it, KTS. That's
Get
the
it,
two my
girl.
subscriber. That's right. You
Shouts
better
out
get it.
KCS. Go ahead, girl. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Rock out.
Rock
No,
out.
I love listening to y'all, and I'm here on standby for any questions that you have. But you all sound on point to me, asking the right questions and whatnot. So yeah, carry on.
Now, okay, so I used to work for, like I said, major crimes in the Air Force for the Office of Special Investigations, right? So one thing I've always seen is that there's always a note. The note is very weird because let me tell you, because I used to have to process those notes, right? Those letters are like, hey, make sure you go and take the people to school. Hey, make sure you so and so be good with your schoolwork the next day. Like acting like everything is fine, right? Where is that letter at? Where is that note at? And so you're so busy trying to show his essay in his journal. What happened in this note? I want to see the note because I
Here's
want
the
to
thing.
see
First
that
they said he didn't
resolve, because something happens when a person decides to do this. There is a resolve that happens that I
yes.
don't know. It's a very strange, but it's a very weird phenomenon. They
First
they
they
feel
said
like
there
they've
was no
made their
note.
decision, and then I'm finalized on this, and I have come to a conclusion.
First they said there wasn't any letter note found.
There's no letter.
That's what
That's
they said at
weird.
first. At
Okay,
first.
so
KTS, what is the odds that there will be no letter?
Right.
it's very small. The majority of people that commit successful quote unquote successful acts of suicide um is very high, above the 90s. I don't know what the rate is as of right now in 2025. I'm just collectively scrolling through my history, but it's definitely over 90%. And usually the ones that don't are the ones that have no connectivity to family, usually like a homeless person that has like no, i'm not I'm not saying anything about homeless person that is
No,
bad.
no, no.
I'm just
No,
saying that
understood.
like a homeless person that has um just been estranged from family and has
Yes.
no viable connections
That's
to
right.
A
community
person
or
that
family
took
or
their
whatever.
daughter to school in the morning.
Yeah,
Cook
like
the
somebody that
breakfast.
has a child, like has children, they would have a strong reason, an incentive to explain. um and I literally have had suicides, everything from like psychotic to like medical doctors jumping off the top of like um a parking garage to like, yeah, I've had a lot of suicides in my life. So this given that he had children and what care that his family is showing, to me that is, let's just say that if I worked in the medical examiner's office, I would say that's an anomaly.
Exactly. I agree.
Thank you. Okay, so you worked in the medical examiner's office, so you know what I'm talking about.
I did not work in it, but I have been a liaison between the emergency department and the medical examiner's office for many years of my career. So I'm just saying that that's one thing I would, if I was in charge of the medical examiner's office, I would say, where's the note?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There should be a note.
Well, they
If you
try to
took your
say
daughter to school in the morning, this, that, the other, you would want to explain, okay, listen,
right.
it was
They're
too
trying to
much
say
for me. I couldn't handle it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Make sure and like I said, am I correct? Aren't those notes normally like? It's almost like they get like some kind of a weird like, make sure you go to football practice and make sure you take care
I
of your
take care of my
homework.
kids or something.
Yeah, I mean, it'll
That
be
I
like
love
it's
them.
it's very scary to read these notes because it's like, man, really? Like,
Well, they said they didn't find a note, and then the next day they said it was a note. Now I'm like, man, come on, which one is it?
hmm.
Well, the other thing that has come up in modern days is the leaving a note digitally on a computer. That you can't, with handwriting analysis, how do you know? How do you prove who typed what?
Well, he didn't type it. They said it was a handwritten letter saying that he couldn't take anymore.
What couldn't he take anymore? What did they
Right.
say?
I
Oh,
mean, like I said, the note just mysteriously a day later, this is what the police said. Oh, yeah, there was a note found. After they reported there was no note found.
how long was the note?
They just said something to the effect, don't take me verbatim, but to the effect of I had too much going on in my life, and it was just very vague, very, very vague. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, well that tells a lot. Vague,
That part,
because most
exactly.
people that know that they're taking their life
Right.
It's
are pretty
limited.
specific
Yes,
about what
drove them
um
to it.
well what how they want their loved ones to move on. And
Yes,
like I said, I'm
Right.
not, again, nothing against homeless people, because homelessness is very complex. But if he was somebody homeless, estranged a long time from friends, from family, from wife, from children, and he
Right.
wasn't pulling his duties, I would say, okay, well, um, vague no or no note is a possibility. But the fact that he was connected, not just to Allison and his children, but to his
Right.
extended family as well. It For me, it is, given the pattern that I've known and lived in my profession, it seems very strange that there would not be some more detailed message to
validate.
try and comfort or
Yeah,
validate his, thank you, validate his loved ones that he knew would be without.
and he did it. They try to say that he unalived himself. What was it? 2 days, ladies, before Christmas.
Right. I
Was
believe
it?
so.
Was it 2 days?
I'm not too sure. I'm not
I
too
believe it
sure.
was 2 days before Christmas.
Mhm.
I can't see that.
Right. And my thing, and for my, and again, one more thing as a parent, to make no mention of his children in that note, take care of my kids. To
That
my
part.
kids, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Because usually, I mean, and again, I'm nobody's, board certified psychologist, therapist, anything. But just normally, I would think they're usually people that going to do this or write a note. They're usually apologetic to my kids. I'm sorry, or
Yes.
I love you, or
Yes.
we'll meet again, or take
Yes.
care of your mom, or
Yes.
something, some type of instruction or an apology to some extent. But to make no mention of your kids, I'm sorry. This screams suspect. This screams suspicious. And I hate to say, but I hate to quote Umar because, but don't I find, I hate Umar. But
Girl.
shout out to Dr. Umar, but he just gets on my nerves with that invisible Harry Potter school. But, uh, but, but in the words of Umar, don't y'all find it suspicious? Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous.
Don't this sound suspicious,
Don't
right?
this sound
And
So this
suspicious?
is
I
that
can't do it.
sources told TMZ that Twitch checked into the motel the morning of December 12th, 22, 22, the day before his passing. He took an Uber from his home to the motel and switched his phone to airplane mode. This is what sources say, though.
where's the Uber driver?
So no one could contact or track him. Motel staffers told TMZ that Twitch didn't seem in distress and wasn't visibly upset when he arrived at the hotel. Staffers also told TMZ that he came with a small bag and booked the room for just one night. When he missed his checkout time at 11 a.m. Pacific time and didn't respond to the motel staff calls on December 2013. Now, here's another thing. Normally, like you could be in a hotel till like damn near 1 o'clock. That's another
Mhm.
thing. if you don't answer the phone, they don't fuck with you until like about 1.
Yep.
When they really have to get you up out of there.
Yep.
It's another thing. You could actually be in there for a longer time. I mean, I've been in hotels left and right. You know what I'm saying? Housekeeping and management knocked repeatedly on Twitch's door. There was no answer. So this is December 13, 2022. When there was no answer, management opened the door. So what's going on with this? This is not right. That's
First
not
of
how
all,
it happens.
they
And
don't
they
even
didn't call the room. They didn't
No,
call the room.
they don't even give you a key to a
On
hotel
December
unless you pay for that
13th,
room.
Okay, so this is the same day. So it's December 13th, 11 a.m. Right? They didn't hear an answer, right? At 11:20, they they responded to an ambulance de-investigation radio call at motel.
So it took them 20 minutes.
They
to
normally
call the
don't
police?
they don't go into a hotel room like 20 minutes after you don't answer the thing. They'll be like, oh, okay.
Well, they said they opened the door at 11. So
They
y'all
don't open no door.
exactly.
I've never been in no hotel where they open the door, they'll knock on the door and they keep on moving, go to the next room.
Or
You know,
they'll call your phone. I have been in hotels where they'll call the phone and say, "Hey, do you plan on staying?"
Well, then, right? Because you
No
got to
sound
remember,
to fly play, but the bottom
when
line
it's
is no
time,
one else heard the actual gunshot wound. This is
I
the
was just
type of
gonna say,
weird stuff that I'm talking
yeah,
about. Like, what's
I
going
was
on?
I was just gonna say when it's time like to check out, if if the maid staff and things like that, they got to clean up the room, to bring somebody else in there. That may be why they knocked and opened up the door.
Right,
But
right.
my thing is like you can't even get a hotel key unless you put a card on file to secure that room. So how did that work? So did somebody else? Was it under somebody else's name?
They
We
said
gotta get to that. Like, did somebody else reserve that room? Who reserved the room? Somebody reserved that room. They're not giving you a hotel key unless a card is on file. If they getting their money
that's
for that
what I'm
room for that night.
saying.
That's
And
crazy
then
work. That's
right,
crazy
right.
work.
And bottom line is, just like KTS worker says, normally if someone is on some kind of a D-rug, right, they're gonna find it in the system of the
Of
person.
course.
So one thing is that it's disingenuous for her to bring out this and his essay as a child, showing his diary, this, that, the other. None of that had anything to do with his passing away. So if he
Anything.
had like a mental illness,
Right.
okay, mental illness is one thing.
Right.
Right.
Okay, showing all his personal thing, whatever,
Right.
is another thing. So
Right.
KTS work, I want you to tell, like, okay, so let's go in.
Wait. I'm sorry. Can I clarify? Are you saying that she alleges that he had history of SA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the
As a
past.
child, yes.
what
And
happened? What
that's
she said
brand
is
new
she found his
information
diary
according to
in.
her.
What she said, she found his diary in the closet.
Right.
And he wrote about it. He wrote about childhood essay. He wrote
Yeah.
about childhood
And
essay
that
by
was
a family
never
member.
previously known.
Right. Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what we're saying. Like she's just bringing up
wow.
weird, unnecessary details for no reason. It's weird. It's
I
giving
felt like
weird.
she should have kept whatever she's put down that she should have kept that
Right.
between her and her therapist.
And then that's what I'm saying. My thing is like I can see if she said he was allegedly he was essayed by a family member as a child. Now if the family member served time and came out and revisited him and it triggered him and that would have threw him in a different place, that would connect for me. You have to connect these dots for me. I work on connecting. This is not connecting. Why are you telling me that? What does that have to do
Right.
with this?
That's the number one question right there. Why are you telling me this?
That's what
If
everybody
he
wants to know.
Imagine how it
never
makes the
told
mother.
her, and she is the closest, most intimate, involved person in his life, what would behoove you to share that publicly?
And
No,
KT,
what's even deeper
Well,
is
wait a minute, KT, isn't that, I don't mean to cut you ladies out, but isn't that a part of a HIPAA law? Even in death, because I work, in the hospitals and stuff, and even after death, we can't speak on somebody's personal history with that,
but I think that's
mental
really not if it's
illness
not
and
documented. I don't think
essay.
I don't think that would be like considered under HIPAA. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't
It's
know.
still
No,
protected
when
health
somebody's
information, though.
deceased, the policies and like laws don't apply. But what I'm saying as a woman that is mother to his children, which is his legacy,
Right.
um,
Right.
out of love. Look,
Right. I
families are
wouldn't even.
great at keeping
Yep.
secrets.
Hmm.
I'm, I get that, but the reason they're secrets is because they're kept within the family.
Right.
They're
Right.
not shared publicly. It
Right.
would be up to the person to share that during their healing journey, I have overcome this situation and I disclose this. It is, I can't think of a greater betrayal or disservice
Hey
to
guys,
share somebody's private, most intimate details. And look, I haven't seen the journal, so I don't even know if what she alleges is true.
hey
I
ladies,
physically haven't seen it in my eyes.
Exactly.
ladies,
So we
not to
always
cut you
have to
off.
leave room for the fact that it it is it is hearsay, technically.
Ladies, ladies,
Right.
not
Right.
to
And
cut you off, guys, but listen to this. It
mm-hmm.
says, yes, under HIPAA regulations, protected
Mm,
health information remains protected for a
mm,
period of 50 years after a person's death,
mm.
meaning their records are still considered private and must be handled with the same
Ooh,
confidentiality as when they were alive. I worked
What,
for an insurance company, that's how I knew that. It said
what?
this applies to covered entities like healthcare providers and insurance.
Well, hopefully
that's
hopefully
an
his family
interest.
knows that and hears
Yeah,
it.
this is an interesting point of that I think we have all fall upon, because okay, here's the thing. Once the person is deceased, if while the person was alive, you were their durable power of attorney of financial, legal, and medical decision making, if she had those powers, or if they're afforded to her legally by the state of law of California, does she have the right then to share that information?
Now, yes, if she was his executor, then yes. So I'm just wondering, an authorized representative would be
Do
due
you
to
think that
contact.
now that she is the owner, well, she didn't get the estate? Didn't they like not let her have the estate? I think
I thought,
something happened where she didn't have the estate.
oh, well, she's not the
She didn't have a
executor.
will, and she tried to get the estate and she didn't get it. So
Who was
therefore,
the
she was not.
executor?
Yeah, if she was the executor, then she could put that out. So that's what that's saying.
Yeah, he didn't have a will, so I don't know whether everything went to his
I
children.
probably went to his mama.
It was
That's why
it was
that's
had
probably
to
why
be
she
Okay,
out here writing that book.
in the state of
allegedly he did not have a will. I mean,
right,
how do we,
Right, right,
like, you
right,
know what I'm saying? Like, how do you prove that he did or he didn't?
right, right, right,
right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
right. And
And
Or
it,
you
and
know,
it,
if she was the executive, she probably could like put that out. But here's the thing:
mm-hmm.
like, why didn't he tell her that in
right,
their marriage bed?
right.
That
Why
listen,
did
I
he
was
find it out in a
Genesis.
diary?
I was just about to say, you took the words out of my mouth. Damn, you took my thought. I was just gonna say, shouldn't she feel like an extra slime ball that he had to write that in a book somewhere and hide it, and he couldn't even tell his own wife what happened to him as a child? He didn't even trust her enough with that information.
Because it didn't
And then you
happen.
gonna come out and why? Because you telling everybody now.
Right. Because it didn't happen. He's not here to
Oh,
defend himself.
child, I don't like this lady. I don't like her. I don't like this lady. Okay,
You
I'm
know, they
just gonna
always
look at
say
it.
the culprit returns to the scene of the crime.
No, they always say it's always the ones just next to you.
That
But
part.
no, let me
They
tell
say
you, like, there's a whole thing where she hunted him down.
stalked him.
She made sure that she was at everywhere he was, like trying to become his girlfriend the
And,
whole time.
and that came out of
He
her
was
mouth.
not even looking for her. She
Nope.
was everywhere she was. And I had I don't know where I did with that YouTube, but it was showing that
She
like
said
that
it.
he yeah, she was not even he was not checking for her at all. She made sure she showed up to every spot. And that looked like a handler to me.
Sound like a Lifetime movie to me.
I mean, I don't know about Hollywood and these handlers, but it be handlers that will come. They'll make sure they put themselves in your space, and next thing you
Mm-hmm.
know, they're almost like the CIA or something like that. You
Yeah.
like, oh damn, you work for the CIA too? What?
Well, what I can tell you is that I've
Mm-hmm.
had a small amount of experience in the states of New York and Pennsylvania
Mm-hmm.
with satanic ritual abuse and MK Ultra. Um, when I relocated to Texas, there's like Tons.
Really?
Tons of sex trafficked individuals
Well, I know that. Yeah.
that I actually had to go to seek continuing education and training so that I could feel competent in even working with these people. I had to go to these ladies in Canada, southwestern Canada, that had started education to help people like me who encounter this stuff and are like, what am I, because it's not like there's a class, you know, working with satanic ritual abuse and MK Ultra victims. There's not a class like that in mainstream academia. So I'm a fish out of water, and I want to be competent. And I had to do a lot of research to find somebody that could help. So no lie there.
Mm. So you know what? It's a lot going on with these fires and all this Hollywood stuff. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot going on, y'all.
It's a lot, and again, it's a lot of it's seeming, I don't know if it's a course between cover-ups or a breakdown for a rebuild. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, or if it's just like the earth speaking, or the heavens speaking, or I don't know which way it's going, but I know something is not right in the atmosphere, because this is way too weird. And for her to wait 2 years to come out just to spill his beans and essentially embarrass this man and kind of like tarnish his legacy is wrong. Now, young kids now, when they go to school, they friends telling them, "I saw your daddy online." Who touched him when he was little? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? Like,
That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
I
was interested in, like, what are your thoughts about the 16-year-old?
I'm sorry, it's giving. I'm
disrespectful and getting fed by her mother to like say a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
because I asked last night. I had like different people on the line. I said, well, listen, in the Caucasian household or white household, is it okay to address an elder as their first name? Because I said, well, maybe this is a black thing that we just know, like, as once a person, if you're like 10 or 20 years younger than a person, immediately it's ma'am or Miss so-and-so.
Miss
Like,
so-and-so.
I've never heard of a person like, oh, Connie and Steven.
Yeah,
especially that's your father. So
and
I'm gonna
his
ask
mama.
you, KTS worker. So you how old are you right now? How do you?
Oh, I'm 51. That's a really good
You don't
point.
sound 51.
You sure don't.
I
Good
know.
grief.
Hell, you sound like a.
You sound
I
12.
know. I've gotten that my whole life. So like,
you need to do voiceover work for cartoons. I'm not even being funny, because you sound wild young.
What?
No, I'm not being funny for sounding young. Like you could, no, I'm just saying.
You need to be on Disney, child.
On Disney, I'm being for real.
You should be on Dora the Explorer.
I honestly, I have been approached about doing voiceover work.
I'm telling
for,
because
like,
I work in radio, so that's why I can hear your voice. I'm just saying, I'm not being funny, and I'm not trying to diminish.
I know you're not. I know. I hear it by many people. In fact,
yeah,
but the voiceover guys in Dallas.
You do.
Like, you'd be great because you're the voice of a child, and you've got the work ethos of an adult.
Right, that's crazy. Well,
oh
listen.
My God.
Listen, KTS worker.
50-something years old.
What KTS worker? When you retire, KTS worker, you got a side hustle. Read some children's books or something.
Yeah, go ahead and get on Amazon and like just read the books.
Read the. I'm telling you, do some voiceover work. I'm telling you.
I love you, ladies. Audio. I will.
At least you got a side hustle. See, we gotta like braid hair and like cook food. And
listen, we have to we gotta empower the community of what they are powerful in. You know what I'm saying? You could like read all kind of Dora the Explorer. All of that, because I would have never thought that you. I thought
when you said 50, I said, wait, what? I said, oh wow, yeah, you threw me through a loop. Well, they said too, but
making me laugh.
Yeah, but you're strong for you. You're only as old as you sound. That's what's up. That's dope though. But yeah, I don't know.
She probably look young too, though. I can get probably. She look like real like small and.
Yeah, I'm about to say she's getting short. You're short.
Her voice. Yes, I am short, and when I first started out in my field, I remember going up to this foster home placement's house, and the woman's like, this is in Philadelphia, and she's just like, what are you, all but 13 years old?
Like, I'm like 50. Like, no.
And I was like, I'm 25. And I've had like hostesses of airplanes saying you can't sit in the exit aisle row unless you're 15 or older, and I'm like, I'm 23. It's been like that my whole life. But my mother said one day I'd like be considered young, but I attribute it to the melatonin of my very mixed familial background, mysterious from like the Middle East and North Africa. So I don't know. I guess I just have
Hey,
thick
listen,
dermals.
it is what it is. Go ahead, child.
Yeah,
You got. Listen, you older than I am. I feel like I'm like a kid up here. I think like,
No.
yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Yes,
I'm about to
ma'am.
say yes, Miss KTS. We appreciate you for being here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, for Caucasian, it's definitely customary, I'd say, to say Miss, Mrs., or Mr. If it's it really relies on the authority or like the dynamic of the relationship.
Now, here's the thing: is Allison Holcourt? Is she white? Is she maybe she might be? I don't know. Like what other? Because the daughter's last name is Wesley. Maybe there are another race.
I don't.
Where,
I mean, for at least for me, I mean, I was just getting. I said race played a role somewhat in the dynamic, but for me at this point, as we're like even further in dissecting this and getting, you know what I mean, and just kind of like getting to the
it's just
into her
disrespect all the way
psyche.
around. It's
Yeah,
just
she's just a whole narcissist to me at this point. I don't care if she green at this
and
point.
teaching her
She's a
daughter
weirdo.
to be a narcissist. That's
Yeah,
what
she's a weirdo. And again, and not to be funny, I'm a single parent because again, she met her, you know, I mean, he met her with her child. So again, she's gonna be closer to her mom. It was just them, and again, it was up to what 3 or 4. But my thing is, what was the dynamic to the point where you know you're siding with your mom? It wasn't like they were just married about 3 years ago, and you know you've been with your mom the whole
right.
time.
He been taking her to school, probably taking
for,
her to school.
for
Like
12
why?
or 14 years or something and been a provider. So I'm like, I don't understand the dynamic with it. And that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like, just as a wife, it's like she's not even giving protector mode. You're
yeah,
like,
here's my question is what prompts you to put your 16-year-old in front of the public?
that part.
Or
And
even
let it.
allow her to. That must be. I don't know. Like,
No,
is that like?
she uploaded it to Instagram, Genesis, and I mean it was a long live. That girl went live for a long time. I could see that lady came in there and said, "Get off that, get off that internet and don't upload that or nothing." She let that girl rock. That's crazy.
Well, speaking from the work that I do, working with parents that are trying to desperately parent it, like their goal is to parent the best way I can with all this social media stuff. That's the antithesis of what parents come with to me. Concern about, how do I protect my child's identity, but at the same time give enough leverage or looseness that they are still engaging in the same thing that all their peers are engaging. So that's an anomaly as well to me.
Oh, I
Right,
was just
that's
gonna ask you if
happening
you had
in
any tips because I have a teenager and he kind of likes to be on the internet a lot. And I tell I break him
But I'll
off.
be damned if I'm got a subject going on and then she could just come up there like, well, let me give my input. Like, hold on now, no. Like, it'll erase that. What are you doing? Because now now you're gonna like get all this backlash. That's like, what am I gonna? I can't even like stop it. And that's what happened. She's
That's
getting all
true.
that backlash. She can't, and the mother can't do nothing about it. So the
Right.
mom, by being loose,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And this happens in Hollywood. I think it's a Hollywood.
Yeah, I think right, and I think it's and we have to kind of, and I mean this could really go into a deeper dive because to me it's giving classism as well. Because I'm sorry, like you know, you rich and well off, and then y'all going on here making public statements about your daddy and all that. I know regular people in my day to day in the hood, they daddies cheated on their mamas, and you don't say nothing till the funeral. You just like, yo, shut up. That's your cousin over, that's your brother over there. Now meet your new brother. Like, you don't even say nothing until it happens. Like, you don't go on those social media. Yeah, I want to talk about my dad and how he had
Oh
kids.
no,
with
no, no!
me."
I want to
We
talk
don't
about
do all that.
Steven and and Connie, my so-called grandmother.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, yeah, that level of disrespect. Like, come
Oh
on,
yeah,
man.
that was a little.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Listen,
that was
I
a little
think that even white people be like, man, don't call me no damn Connie. What? Because we
Oh,
talking about
man.
we talk about a time frame. We talking about people that's from the baby boomers and like the generation X and all that stuff. They did not go for that. I was not raised. Yes, ma'am, Miss So and So, this, that, the other. So I don't know, like, but no, that doesn't go down. You know what? Even with the white people, like, so we ain't gonna even try to like, because I was like, maybe it might be like a cultural thing, but let's like be real. No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. It could, and again,
And
it might.
shouts out to KT as worker for even clearing that up. Because could you call
Right.
your grandma Connie or whatever her name is? Do you know your grandma's real? Honey, I didn't know my grandma age or like until I got to a certain age. I didn't even know her real name.
Oh no.
I just knew her
Exactly.
as grandma.
It was Nono and Nona, and that's it in the Italian family. It's it's
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you very
respect,
respectful of your
respect.
elders. Yeah, you very. Oh yeah, in Italian culture, it's respect. Oh, you a child, bye. That's I'm like that's how.
Oh no,
I
grandma,
don't get it.
Italian grandma gonna go upside your head.
If she's
Say
on a wheel, she'll take that whole what is it? That rolling pin, and go bang right
fettuccine or
upside
something
your
like
head.
that. Like a
Yeah, they
roll of
messed it
bread
up
and do
calling it the
something.
Godfather. It should have been the Godmother.
Okay, la
Oh,
familia, okay,
honey,
Italiana,
she'll take
okay,
some spaghetti and wrap it around your neck. And
okay. The
don't say some.
nah.
Call her by her real name.
But but
Italian
it's
or Greek family?
but it's this new thing. I'm telling you, it's this newfangled generation. These newfangled kids that they all on social media. They'll record you. I'll just call somebody and I'll report you, and I'll call them for you too. Let's all call everybody.
You
How
didn't
about
say
that?
you was Italian, KTS. We already know. I wouldn't even ask that question. You said you was Italian.
Yeah, child. Now you already know. Good and doggone well. Yeah. You
Ain't
said
no
white. You
Italian
ain't.
gonna call
You
their
should have. You
grandma
should
that
have led with
Miss
Italian.
Nana, Nona, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
ain't no Miss, ain't even no Miss so and so. It's whatever the name. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Italian.
Yeah,
The
you
grandmother
get a
stepped
wooden
in.
spoon over your shoulder, and that's what happens in Italian culture
Yeah.
if you disrespect. And I'm happy to claim that one time I was disrespectful, and the wooden spoon actually broke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The Italians, they will anything handy go wapa. They
Honey,
one good
Italian,
time.
they too close to Northern Africa. Okay, the
Yeah, I'm about to
Sicilian,
say
all that
that's
stuff.
what I said. We next door
Hey,
neighbors. Yeah, we
we
understand it.
neighbors. We got the same kind of like
Yeah.
situation going
And
on.
the grandmother, they will chime in over the mamas and the parents, and they will get your behind all the way together. Child, bye.
Exactly. So let's hear some more about this crazy stuff.
Okay.
Will eventually seep out. Oh, well, that's true. I also wish Ellen would speak out on his behalf. Ellen can't say nothing about anything right now because people are still mad at her for the way she treated people allegedly on the set. Crazy part is she was keeping his family away from the grandkids and still are. So let's talk about that. I think what inflamed me the most was hearing about how since then she's kept the kids away and how she's mistreated his friends and family and made people sign NDAs. So we're going to get legal with it. Pull up your drink, pull up your chair, and let's be really clear. So here, very clearly, here's why that NDA that she made people sign, that she made his mother sign to view his body, and his family and friends sign to attend the funeral is probably null and void. And if you've received one, feel free, for free. I will review it for you. Send it on over to my DMs. Email me, attorney Simone with a Y at Gmail. I'll review it for you and I'll give you my personal stuff because you are more than welcome. If I had that, I'd go to the media with it because since she wants to go to media with everything, let's start there. So in order to have a valid NDA, there's a number of things that you have to have, but we're going to focus on the four main things that are relevant here. So one of the things is that it has to have a reasonable duration. So keep something confidential for a reasonable amount of time. We don't know here what the duration was, but chances are she probably said forever or something like that, but a reasonable duration. Doubtful that that was here. Second, there has to be something called offer and acceptance. So one person, the person offers to keep information confidential, and the other person agrees to, give you the confidential information. Okay, so that would be, for example, his mom is agreeing to keep things confidential by signing it. But the other thing you have to have is actual confidential information. And here's what confidential information, see, the NDA must specifically define what constitutes confidential information. You don't have to just go to a Google or something. They have to define it in the NDA, what it is that's confidential and what it is you're going to be receiving. Vague or overly broad definitions render the agreement unenforceable. In addition, the information must be clearly identified as confidential, whether it's proprietary data, usually it's data, business strategies, this kind of thing. And it has to be it can't be information that you can obtain from other sources or on your own. So for example, by virtue of attending a funeral, what goes on in there is not confidential. Funerals are public events. Now, if at the funeral they would have said, for example, he had a drug addiction, that could be considered confidential information. But it ain't no more because Miss Thing just sat down and told the whole world in a book. So even if something was confidential on that day of the funeral, but that she later made it public, NDA null and void. NDA null and void. There was nothing confidential that was obtained there. Now, they could say things, for example, like don't take pictures. No problem. No one would be upset about that. His family, his friends. Some people may say, well, I want to take a photo to remember. That's fine, but it's weird. It's weird. Taking pictures of dead people at a funeral is kind of weird. That's the kind of thing that you can ask for. And I don't think in the comments, if you went to a funeral and someone said, hey, we're going to ask that you don't take any photos of the body, that you don't take any photos, at the graveside, something like that, would you be opposed to that? I wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, no problem. And then the last thing that I believe did not exist here that would make this NDA invalid is you have to offer consideration. What is consideration? Consideration is something of value. It could be money. So that's how come usually if you sign an NDA or a separation agreement when you're leaving a company, they have to also give you money. They cannot withhold your last paycheck to force you to sign an NDA. No, they have to give you something you didn't already earn. And as a result, what is the consideration? The ability to attend in itself a funeral is not consideration. First of all, a funeral is free. A funeral is free. And second of all, there is this not loophole, but there is a rarely used but often applicable term in the law that says that some rule can have an exception. This is an exception when something is void for public policy. And what that means is that if there's a law that traditionally, hey, this is how it would work, but that it's against the way in which American society like the proper way to operate, the moral way, then a judge would set aside the traditional way. Now, void for public policy, here's the best example, and I've given it before in the channel. There was literally a case where this dad hated his son-in-law. He tells his daughter, if you divorce him, I'll give you $100,000. She divorces the guy because she wants the money. But her dad ends up not giving her the money. She takes the dad to court, and the court says, hey, we can't hear this because that type of agreement, an agreement to divorce somebody in exchange for money, is void for public policy. It's just a bad policy to have in our society. Similarly here, I believe a court would find it is a bad policy to force mothers and relatives to sign NDAs to see their dead babies.
Wow. What do you think about this so far? KTS?
She makes a lot of strong points, and I love that information.
That's sad that they didn't even know they didn't have to sign that. You know,
No, it is, and the practice of trying to get people to sign contracts to bend to their will does not fall short on me. I've seen it happen in a lot of like very sad situation and cases. But I commend her for explaining what to most of us feels like Greek and putting it in, simplistic terms. What are your
so to take advantage of someone's grief, to know that they probably don't know any better.
That happens all the time. Every time in the ER that I had an industry incident, like let's say an industrial worker gets burned or falls or whatever, they get flighted to our hospital, and the first thing I get is, "Hey, Karen, the social worker, come out here. We have somebody that is here for this person." And I'm like, "Okay, who is it?" And it's basically somebody from the company, or it's a representative from the workman's comp insurance. And I'll say, you're not allowed back. But I'll take the card and I will give it to them. And if they're interested, they will contact you, because it's like vipers just, descending on people in their weakest vulnerable
people's
moment.
family, just to protect the company's interests.
Exactly.
And that's pretty much
and
what
I
this was.
don't do that, and I'm fiercely protective of every person I encounter that I work with that's in a vulnerable spot. That's awful.
So now you have the friend, saying, "Listen, you have 1 week to make public apology for what you did to that man, what you did to his friends, most importantly to his family. And I will go back to my old life. This is on me by myself. No one asked me to do this. You can't blame other people the way you love to do. I was kind to you at first. I asked nicely. Then you lied and tried to destroy his image. 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. I think he should just go ahead and just show what he's going to show. Time out for the ultimatums. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? Let's go.
Ultimatums is manipulation. It's emotional manipulation.
You understand what I'm saying? So the guy is like, he showed what she said. So let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's not do this.
It's about business, and you standing on business. You got to be very thorough. Let's listen in at the tape. Find out what he got to say. Kind of break this thing all down, because there's a lot of mess in this.
So you know who? You need to make a public apology to his family, to his friends, and to the public for what you did. If you don't,
I'm
gonna release this.
Wow.
Because I don't care and I ain't got nothing to lose. Just an old man that's tired of women like you. I'm gonna give you about a week, maybe a week and a half, for you to make a public apology for what you did to him.
Who cares about a public apology?
To his friends. Then I go back to my little old life. If you don't, I'm going to release that and others will release
Wow.
things.
Things.
Okay.
Now, where do we go from here, ladies and gentlemen?
Thoughts? Any thoughts?
I'm just thinking about the children.
That part. That part. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is like? I'm not only the children. What's everybody's motives? Are we protecting his legacy, or are we just trying to out each other? You know what I mean? Or are we trying to one up each other? In my opinion,
Intent is extremely important when we look at each action of human behavior. I agree.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the end game? What's the goal? Like, what are we really here for? Because all y'all are doing is going back and forth, going, "Oh no, I really loved him, but this is what happened to him. No, you didn't really love him, but if you don't say what I want you to say, this is what I'm gonna do." And meanwhile, this man is not here to even defend himself or even, y'all stop this. He can't even say anything or do anything. So why can't we just let him rest in peace? Why are we doing this back and forth? A book, she could have did a book all day, every day. She was his wife, she was his partner, she's his widow. What she could have left out was the essay and the drugs. Was that gonna make it more salacious? Because you see, and again, it's that Hollywood mentality. Oh, it's the Diddy situation taking over, or this story's taking over. So how can I make my story juicier so to sell more books? And again, I implore everybody to protest that and don't even buy the damn
And
book.
don't buy the book.
Don't even buy that damn book. I'm not buying it, and I don't even want to know about it, and I don't want to know nothing of it. And again, not even to be funny, I saw him once. So You Think You Could Dance. I knew he was Ellen. He was on the Ellen show. He was a DJ, this, that, and the third. I saw him in one episode of Modern Family because I love Modern Family. But my thing is, I didn't really know all this about this man until she said something. I'm like, now you got him looking all out here like an extra piece of crackhead, and like, oh, just a whole piece, like a whole mess of, like, you know what I mean, like an emotional mess. Like, you couldn't just let him go as a family man that loved his family. Okay, but he struggled a little bit with his demons or struggled emotionally. And unfortunately, this is what he did, and this, that, and the third, or whatever. And now you're in the grieving period or the grieving process. And I know there are different stages of grief, but she's in the angry, crazy phase. I don't know what phase that is, but
Hey, listen to me. Let's talk about this. You know what? What about the mother and how she's feeling? Can we
she
talk
don't care.
about how the wife versus the mother could be feeling in this situation? We have a actual psychologist here. Let's talk about that. What? Why is the mother? Why is the mother's grief just being thrown underneath the rug, but the wife should be like revered and whatever? Let's go into that.
Well, legally, the way the legal family code works is that the first next of kin is a legal spouse. After that, it goes to a biological mother or father. After that, it goes and looks at biological son or daughter. And then after that, it goes to biological sibs. So obviously, just by nature of the algorithm of law, family law, and it may not be like that in every single state, but majority states, that's the algorithm. Already the biological parent is secondary to legal spouse. And that's not always a good thing. And she in okay, so in most, so I deal with a lot of complex family dynamics in my field. In most circumstances, ideally what would happen is some kind of mediation or facilitation of understanding that is above and beyond the law, because human behavior, human emotions is not able to be compartmentalized. like the
Right.
way we write law.
Mhm.
Okay. And so I just my thoughts, my automatic thoughts is that was an ugly play. Bottom line,
Yeah.
ugly play.
Very,
Even if
very
you
ugly.
don't get
Very
along
ugly.
with a certain extended or in-laws or whatever, you still go through the motions to be decent. And how do you define decent? I don't know. It's a moral code. Can we map it out distinctively in law?
No.
History would say no, you
Mhm.
can't. The whole history of trying to create law and order, it's the more laws you make, the more disregarded they become. Actually, learn from the history of France.
Mm.
So I don't know. That's very dirty, especially given that she has children with and they have 50% of that genealogy and history from his side.
And
Right.
this is how they're gonna remember. Go ahead, Melanie.
I was just gonna ask KTS worker, do you get? I mean, and again, like, and I agree totally with what you said. Like, the moral compass to me is off, because as his wife, I wouldn't have threw that. I wouldn't have thrown him under the bus like that. I would have been hurt, and not to even be funny. I wouldn't have called no blogs. I wouldn't have called no book. I wouldn't have threw it in the public. I'd have called his mother. I'd have been like, "Did you know your son was out here doing drugs?" You know what I mean? I'd have called his mother first. But not even that on a moral code, because that's just my moral code. But do you think it gives? Because for me, it gives his wife, what's her name, Allison, and his mother, Connie. They didn't have a great relationship when he was alive. To me, it's given they didn't have a good relationship anyway. Because the way it's going right now, you would have thought, or you would think, I mean, outside of your husband, his mother is like you know what I mean, like the real next of kin for your kids, like for their legacy to stay close and stay connected to your husband. So for that to go, oh, Connie this and Connie that, and she doesn't come see my kids, it's given they didn't have a good rapport anyway. But I mean, in your opinion, do you think?
I think the mother knew. I
Mhm.
think the mother knew that
Mhm.
there was discord or something wasn't aligning. Because what I have learned,
Mhm.
especially when working at a children's trauma
Mhm.
hospital,
Mhm.
is that like there are some moms that, and it's very rare, that are um conflicted or disturbed by other things going on in their life.
Mhm.
But the majority of mothers that I encounter are, there is an unspeakable, there's no term to describe it.
Mhm.
There is a mother's sense of
Right.
knowing. And
Right.
there's always a mother's sense of protecting. And if a kid so much as has an asthma attack, the mother's like, I'm guilty,
Mhm.
and it's and that is never lost on them for the entire lifespan, even beyond when a child becomes an adult. There's something there. And I'm not saying that there aren't mother-in-laws out there that are hard to, jive with or whatever, but it sounds like from what you're telling me that the mother knew that there was something, a strife.
All right, so here is one of the emails that Tough TV got. Shouts out to Tough TV. All video credit goes to Tough TV. So this is someone who had that's a post. So it says, I was there the moment you both connected. I was there the day you got engaged. I stood by your side on your wedding day. I was in your home the day he died. I was by your side because your husband was my family. It didn't matter when we spoke, how often we spoke. Okay, let's go into it.
There the day you got engaged. I stood by your side on your wedding day. I was in your home the day he died. I was by your side because your husband was my family. It didn't matter how often we spoke, how often we saw each other, we bonded forever. This is by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act I've ever seen in my entire life. We all had to sign some weird NDA to attend his funeral. Even his own mother, who you treated like garbage this entire time. Let's just remember you wouldn't have even had a husband if it wasn't for her. Not to share anything or ruin his name as if that was on anyone's mind in the first place. And here you go and write a book with all the dirty laundry, smearing his name and attempting to dim the bright, loyal, loving light that was your husband, my friend. Whether any of it is true or not is actually beside the point. This is how you protect the boss name you so quickly dropped on your social media platforms 48 hours after he passed. His legacy, this is how you protect his children from any humiliation, hurt, and despair. This is what you want them to remember about him. You have moved on. You're living your life. You're on every carpet you can get on, every celebrity role you can sit in, every magazine you can be in, and you needed to do this. Get a journal, a therapist, a friend, but publishing a book shamelessly, sharing the pages of your husband's journal, People magazine? What a joke. Yes, he did himself in, and I'm paraphrasing there. You guys can read what it actually says, which is a fact. All of us still can't fathom, and he was clearly having mental issues, hurting so deeply, and this is your example of empathy, of your love. This smear campaign for a buck is absolutely not what he would have ever wanted, no matter how bad he was hurting. Not for a second. You're a living, breathing bulldozer. Stick to your own demons. Shame on you, Allison. Shame on your money-hungry team. Let my friend rest in peace, not your PR. Now, another interesting thing that I want to share with you all is that Twitch has a cousin that's on Twitter, and basically she was going in too, but she was saying the same thing that I basically just read, so I don't want to repeat myself, but she did make an interesting point when she was asked this question. This person says, wait, she had y'all sign NDAs at the funeral before y'all walked in, or she sent it another way prior to the funeral? And Big Ellie responds and says, as we walked in, they were being passed out. How disrespectful is that? Now, Twitch's brother, Dre Rose, has responded on his Instagram stories. Now, I can't get to it because his account is private. I don't know if he made it private overnight or whatever the case may be, but it says, and Courtney wasn't alone in her feelings as Dre shared her post to his Instagram stories, adding no lies told. He also reposted an Instagram story by Katie Paulson, who called Allison a disgrace and despicable human to do this to a grieving family. So it's not hard to tell that this situation right here has struck a nerve with Twitch's family, and they're standing on business. They're speaking out against Allison. And I just think it's despicable and horrible on so many levels that she decided to do this. Yep, just like I said in the beginning of the video, I feel like this is a ploy to make some money off the passing of her husband, and it's just sad that people will stoop so low just to do that. And
Here we go. So you hear that so what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts? Yeah, all that stuff is sick. But now I'm beginning to think who was handling her. Just my history with working with SRA MK Ultra. And if these despicable acts are based out of fear, threat, power abuse, I mean, none of us are.
You think that he was handling her, but he committed suicide, or you think she was
No,
handling?
no. I'm saying like there's somebody above that tier. Just I don't want to plant ideas.
I agree with you.
But I'm just saying that after hearing that, it just with all the crap that I have heard, and I'm telling you, it's not just people think social workers just work with people that don't have access to resources. There are plenty of people that are connected to resources that end up passing through my purview. And I'm just saying that I'm curious if there isn't somebody with power and connection above her orchestrating, you do this, you do that.
That's where I'm like thinking like there might have been like a clause, you know what I'm saying, when it really comes down to it. When people like need money, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And then for her to try to destroy his life and try to make him look like he's a drug addict and put out a book and make him seem like he was on drugs. Well, I found this inside the closet. And let's go further into the lawyer. And then once we go into this, we're gonna like do last words, and let's go back into this and like go into last words. So
It just won't fly. Not to mention the fact that there's no consideration. Did you pay anybody? Did you say, I'll give you this amount of money to sign this NDA to see your dead baby? No. Why? Because that would be weird. And so the hell is this. So in the end, this NDA is null and void. It sounds like this death is a lot more suspicious than we initially thought. And my condolences go to the family of Twitch, the true family of Twitch, not this woman who is acting in such a way that we can only question her moral turpitude as well as her behavior. And let's hope that these babies get to see their grandparents, their cousins, their Black side of the family sometime soon, and that negative things aren't being told to them about that. Because we all know when that happens, it makes you not love that side of who you are. Now, I'm going to read a few comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and if you have any final questions. I just wanted to make sure that the viewers understand if somebody ever tells you you have to sign an NDA to see your dead baby, call me and rip that bitch up. Rip it up. Go ahead, sign it. See your baby. Take your little copy of it on your phone because you may have to sue that person later. Yeah, somebody said, I hope she makes millions off this. Liz, it's only going to go one way or the other. Either a lot of people are going to buy that book or not a lot of people are going to buy that book. Or people may go on Amazon and literally give that sucker 1 star. You know how people were upset about that fake book that called itself being Kim Porter's last words. People went and gave that a 1 star. Amazon pulled that bad boy so far. So for the people that are upset about this, I'm not saying you should. But what I am saying is that on Amazon and places like that, Amazon's the #1 place to get books now, that the people talk. And when people go to Amazon and say, this ain't right, Amazon listens. Right? She be sharing the confidential information. Yeah. So, hold up. Big short. Really what it sounds like here is it sounds like the reason she may have wanted that NDA is so that she could write her book. Because if everybody went out telling their story before she got her chance to, she couldn't got that $1 million book deal. Because I believe that people who sign it, see, those people didn't have a lawyer look over. There was no time for that. So all those people who signed that NDA probably believed that they couldn't talk about certain things and didn't. We haven't heard from any of his family prior to this. Not a one. And you heard his brother say a production company reached out to him about telling the story. And we don't know what happened, but to my knowledge, it appears the story was not told. But it sounds like they needed her, the wife, to be a part of the story. And she probably said, no.
Karma is something else. So listen. We're gonna to wrap this up here. You know, we're at about the 2.5 hour mark. We'll probably come back and revisit this. There's so much to unpack. It's so much to unpack. It's so much. It's more things.
Right.
It's the thing of things. I'm like, bro, this is showing how handlers can get a hold of your child, and they could be the sweetest person in the world, be a great dancer. They get into Hollywood, they get hooked up with a person. Next thing you know, that person is controlling your whole life. That's crazy.
Here are my final thoughts. The deceased deserve the respect for their human self-worth and dignity to let who they are be proven in what is known and observable and whatnot. And my second takeaway from this, thank you ladies for including me, is that children, even young adults who are still growing up, deserve to formulate their own judgment and opinion about their parent without interference from someone else. And that is basically the ethics principle of human self-worth and dignity. And that's my final thoughts.
Well, thank you so much. You have given like so much clarity on this, because it's one thing for us to talk about us this as human beings. It's another thing that as a professional to come up here and show exactly what normally happens in the situation, right? You know what normally happens, so this is abnormal. It's abnormal, 100%. Melanie, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I appreciate you, KTS, for coming up and shedding light and helping us, see it from a psychological perspective, and a viewpoint. Because again, I'm really just looking at it from a family standpoint. I'm looking at it from just if that was my loved one, how would I, want their legacy to be portrayed? What information would I want out there to the public? If it didn't involve a crime, if he didn't hurt anyone, if you know what I'm saying, like again, his kids are already affected, his family's affected, his friends are affected, his coworkers, his loved ones, whoever cared about him is affected. Obviously she's affected, but not in the way that we want her to be. You know what I'm saying? Not in the way that we, I guess, deem morally that she should be affected. But or maybe she's not reacting in the way that we want her to react. But I just feel as though um if he didn't commit a crime or do anything of illegally or step outside of any boundaries morally or any moral compass, just let that man rest. Let his legacy go, fade into the wind or fade into the memory bank, and let us leave it there and at the place where we remember him. Now we have all these questions, now we have all these allegations, she's getting all this backlash, and I don't think she thought he was going to get this much support and response. And to me, it's given, you weren't a supportive wife. I could be misjudging. I don't know, I can't confirm or deny. I wasn't there, I don't live in a home, I don't know them personally, but to me it rings bells, and it's a red flag for me when a man who's married to you for over a decade has to write in his journal, and not to be funny, but that is a very positive and normal thing to do, to write your thoughts out, besides going out on a rampage and bugging out and just going in a store and harming other innocent people and taking your own life and doing it as well. He did try to do it in a constructive, positive way. I thought that's what they kind of teach you in therapy, to kind of write your thoughts out and kind of keep them, what I'm saying, and formulate them and things like that. I've never been to therapy, but I just kind of hear things, but I'm just speculating. But what I'm saying is, when he wrote that journal, it's sad that he had to write that down and keep his thoughts to himself and close to the vest, and couldn't even if this journal is if it is real, it's sad that he had to keep it there, and he sleeps next to you every night, he couldn't even tell you was in the most thoughts. He couldn't even tell
Mm.
you this is what I'm going through. That's sad. And you need to look at yourself like you a damn dirtbag, and I'm sorry. It is what I'm sorry to say it, and I know I'm nobody's board certified or anything. No, I don't got a husband either. But you know what? If I did have a husband, he could tell me anything, and I wouldn't fucking throw it up in his. I wouldn't throw it in his face, and I wouldn't bring it out to the public. Now you piss me off, we gonna have a problem. But I don't. He's not giving that. He not giving that energy to me. But and again, and you're not even, and again, we're gonna put him to the side a bit. You're not even looking at your young children like, damn, if I put this out, they friends gonna see this online. They friends, family, they parents gonna see it online. They gonna discuss this in their house over dinner. Now they classmates gonna know this. This is wrong. You know what? Let me just ease up off this. Let me not do it. It's been 2 years. Let it rock. No, you looking for book deals. And I had the same notion. I said that lady wanted to get all them to sign NDAs, and she knows they don't know about the lifestyle. They're not celebrities, they're regular lay members. They don't know. They just gonna sign it because they wanted to see his body, they wanted to attend the funeral. They signed it, and she wanted them to sign it so she could have first rights on that deal. So she can get the most out of it. Because if you got 20 people saying, "Nah, I know about him," "Nah, I know about him," now we gotta split that million 10 ways. Now that's dumbing my money down. She knew what she was doing. Again, she's worked in the business. Just because she wasn't on the screen as much as him, doesn't mean she doesn't know things. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like it personally on the moral code. That's not how I roll. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't do that to my friends and nothing like that. That's just how I roll. But again, everybody don't roll that way. But she gonna get what's coming to her. And again, any money, if she got that money, whatever money she's gonna earn or gain off this book, if she got it any type of way ill-gotten or out of ill will, she's not gonna be around to spend it long. So that money will be allotted to her kids or his kids, because what she's doing on a moral compass is not right, and karma comes to collect, and that's all.
You know what? I'm gonna say this almost the same way that Charleston White said it with Princella. Don't read that book. Don't get that book.
That
Okay?
part. That part.
Right? Let that book go away.
Yep, that part. Just like Amazon pull Kim book off, they'll pull this one off.
Go on ahead and hit the one on that book. Okay, hit the one. When you see it, hit the one.
Mm-hmm.
Hit that 1 star, single star. No, that book cannot live.
I put. Well, can you not just hit any star on it at all, not giving any engagement, and maybe that'll bring it down even further?
You know what? Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
don't even engage in it, because all the ones might equal a 5. Don't
right.
even do it.
You know what? Exactly. Shouts out to Melody. Shouts out to KTS. Shout out to Melody Jones Said So, her podcast, and the people that have been here. Shout out to everyone. And you know what? Continue to, like, if you guys have any more information on this story, please send it to either Melanie or I. Also, please come to my little podcast and like subscribe, because YouTube has been like
That's it
not
funny,
letting
right?
people know why when I'm subscribed, when I'm like on.
YouTube been a little stank these days, haven't they?
How in the hell do I have like this amount of subscribers and then nobody knows when I'm going live?
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
what's
been
going
kicked out of.
on. So like,
I've been kicked out of
please,
better places.
like, I mean, I'm suffering right now. I don't know why, but yeah, please come over there, like and subscribe. Even if you see it on my channel, go ahead and like it. I'm at Alchemizing Energy at it's Alchemizing Energy. I'm gonna put it into the chat. Please come over and subscribe. Melanie and I am going to do more stuff. We have another. Listen, Melanie has been like really on some stuff. But let me just talk about this before we go down. We're gonna talk about Robert Brooks real quick.
Just so gross and heinous. And I actually went to school upstate New York. So basically, predominantly upstate New York are prisons and colleges and universities. They're very rural, they're very suburban areas, they're very country like, they're not city like at all. So the majority of the employees, that make like, I mean, I don't want to say quote unquote good money, but if you want to make like state money and things like that, or state salaries, you either are a professor in a college, or a state trooper, or nurses and doctors, and I'm sorry, Marcy Correctional Facility. So he basically was saying how Marcy Correctional Facility has a reputation for their correctional officers to use excessive force with the inmates. And he was explaining how like they just basically have a reputation of hurting inmates and things like that. And he was saying, they have a reputation of hurting inmates, using excessive force, and actually, statistically, let me see it, because I did take notes. He said back in 2022, 28 prisoners were killed in that prison by the hands of corrections officers. And basically, it was just reported that they used, the inmates used excessive force. The correctional officers had to protect themselves, do things like that. Whatever it was that they had to fudge with the paperwork, or whatever the reports were.
So what's gonna happen is we're gonna like come on a little bit later on. I have to like get my child out of school and be a mom. But yeah. So we're gonna talk about this young man. Go ahead, tell a little bit about what we're gonna like cover later on about this situation.
Sure. Robert Brooks was a inmate at Marcy Correctional Facility in upstate New York. It's a bit close to Utica, New York, and basically he was serving. Please don't quote me on this, and I do apologize for not knowing the sentence number offhand. But I believe he was serving a 12-year sentence for stabbing his then girlfriend at the time. He was already 7 years in. He was transferred from another facility, so essentially he had about 5 years left to go. He was transferred from another facility, and I was watching another podcaster who's actually a former inmate of another facility that is across the way from Marcy Correctional Facility. But of course, inmates here buzz and rumors about other prisons from other COs that or other inmates that may get transferred over to their facilities. So the inmate that is former inmate, I'm sorry, that is now a podcaster, um has said that Marcy Correctional Facility is well known for their correctional officers to be abusive and to and misuse their power. So and there have actually been a lot of inmate deaths that have not been reported, and that was just what the report said. That amount was. Of course, they fudged numbers because they don't want it to look extreme. So it might be even more than that, allegedly, that we don't know. However, Robert Brooks was brought into the facility, and it is trigger warning. I have video footage in in that video as well. And he was actually bound. He was handcuffed behind his back. His hands were handcuffed behind his back. He was brought in off the ground, meaning he didn't walk into the infirmary. They took him out of we see footage of the body camera footage of the COs coming into the facility, and then were immediately taken to the infirmary, where 12 officers, a nurse who had to give them permission to use the infirmary, and a sergeant. So of the 14 people that were let go, we don't know how many are going to be charged. One did retire, but at least 12 officers viciously attacked Robert Brooks while he was bound. And I mean punching him in the face, his nose is bloody. Punching him in the stomach, actually physically shoving a white object down his throat. I don't know if it was a sock or a shirt, a t-shirt, or things like that, but just viciously attacking him, kicking him all in the groin, kicking him in the pelvic area to where urine actually released from his body, all while he is bound. They then took his pants off, stripped him of his pants, and then cupped his legs together, pinned him up against the wall for at least about 3 to 4 minutes, I believe. And essentially he lost consciousness after that entire ordeal. And the sound, although the sound was not enabled on those body cameras, the visual was. I don't know if one officer made sure their body camera was working, to ensure themselves, or to say they didn't want anything to do with it, but they had no choice. That's going to be the defense. That's going to come out. Or either they really didn't think anything was going to happen to them because they have a known history of just doing these type of activities and it being shoved under the rug. But unfortunately, in a Utica hospital, Robert Brooks did lose his life. He was, I believe, 43 or 44 years old, which is not too far from my age. And again, he did the crime. He was serving his time.
And let me even say this is that this is not only happening in prisons and jails. I just got a call from Sugar Love, who I also do live streams with, and her mother, who was an elderly woman who has late stage Alzheimer's. She right now, and we need to pray for her, is going through a situation where someone like just punched her mother in the face. This is going on right now as we speak. So this is not just going on in prisons. Like imagine like you're elderly, right? and you're getting cared for at like a facility, and someone is punching your mother. You're this is your mother in the face. Like, imagine, like, we're all gonna get old one day, right? And I don't want to show the pictures, but I'm gonna tell you, she sent me the pictures, and it is horrible. Right now, she is going through. So everybody, please pray for Sugar. So it's not just happening in.
Throw some prayer hands in the chat for her mom. Damn, that's
Yeah. So this is not just happening in prison. People might say, "Oh, well, it's in prison; they deserve it." No, this is also happening to our elderly.
Right.
There's something going on, you guys.
Right. And again, that's more so connecting it. People are preying on the vulnerable. People are praying. He's an inmate. What power did he have? You know what I mean? How can he fight back? First of all, he's one person. How can he fight back against 12 people with his hands bound behind him? Or he tried to kick and move and twitch and contort himself and move around, but essentially he was at the hands of those COs. And again, she's elderly. How strong is she? And how alert was she, or
She
how
was
quick was
nonverbal. She's laying there. She's nonverbal.
That's
She's at
sad.
the point. She's late
That's sad.
stage of Alzheimer's.
That's sad.
She's dealing with, yeah. And so
That's
and
sad.
and then imagine you as a daughter go there to see your mother, and she looks like she has gotten punched in the face.
But wait a minute, she's in a nursing home?
Yes. This
Oh
is the
no.
type of stuff. Listen, let me tell you something. This is what's going on in these facilities.
And again, listen, and again, I'm not judging. I'm sorry, again, Genesis. I'm just gonna say it the way I say it. I don't want to come across as rude or anything, but y'all gotta check on y'all people. I said that before when I reported on. I believe I forgot what story I was reporting on before. When I think there was like a storm or an outage or a blackout or something like that at a nursing home facility, and they had no electricity, and those people they overheated. A lot of those elderly people overheat. I think it was in Florida. But y'all check on y'all people. If you gotta go up there and raise hell and get crazy and let the police come and get you out, then good. The police here. Then let them come and you know what I'm saying and check on your people. Because you know why? Because that staff, they will sign off and co-sign on things so they won't get in trouble. Because the state is supposed to come in there and check on them. The city's supposed to come in there and check on them, and they supposed to get regulations. They supposed to get cited for things, any type of violations. They supposed to get cited for those things. Y'all check on y'all people. Just because y'all put people in facilities, don't leave her. And I'm not saying Sugar Love left her mom. That is so sad and that's unfortunate. But I'm just giving a
No,
PSA.
no, Sugar Love, she's there every day. And imagine that a
Ain't no
person
way.
is there
I'd
every
have been,
day. They
child, I'd have
still
been, you see how I get on this internet? You see how I get on this live? And just for virtual people, imagine what I do for my mother in real life. Imagine my mother had to tell me to stop going with her to the doctor just because I get a little angry sometimes. I'm not playing them games. And again, I'm not saying that to say Sugar Love didn't look out for her mom. I'm sure she loves her mother. She checks on her. She sees her every day. But if I come there and I see my mother in any type of condition I did not leave her with yesterday, I'm flipping tables. And somebody better bring that administrator out here. Somebody better come out here and tell me something. Because if my mother is hurt, everybody mother in here gonna be hurt. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get emotional, but it's my mama, and I just think about things like that. I don't like stuff like that.
check your email. So you check your IG. I just
That's
sent you that. Just
that's
so we
crazy
know.
work.
So we need
That's crazy
to,
work.
like. Do you
I don't
see
like
that?
that. I don't like that. That's not right. Oh my
We
God.
need to.
Nope. Trigger warning. Nope. I'm not looking at that. Nope. Because I just seen it and I don't like it. Because that's not right. That's not right. When I tell you she need to get a lawyer, she need to sue. She need to first of all, get her mother about that facility. That's first of all. She need to get her mother about that facility. This ain't making sense.
Straight
That's
up,
not.
straight up. Like,
That's
listen,
crazy.
let me tell
That's
you
crazy
something.
work.
And I actually was trying to run a old person's home. But I actually was dealing with like the mentally ill, and and I had to, like, what was crazy is that even with me dealing with the mentally ill, because there's people that like run these facilities, they don't give a fuck. Like,
No, they don't.
straight up.
They're in it for a check, and they think, oh, they come in here, they feed them Jello, or they feed them milk, or they feed them water, and that's it, and they leave them. Nah, it was. It's so many horror stories when I tell you. I come from a family with a lot of elderly people in it. So we already, and again, they have friends, not to say that we treat our people that way, but they have friends. My mother goes to church. They go to senior citizen center. They got friends and stuff. They come back with horror stories. They've been laying in the bed. They got bed sores because ain't nobody turn them. They smell bad. Ain't nobody change them. They just stand the third. Go check on y'all people. I'm telling y'all, you have some coaches, and again, it could be a deeper dive on that as well. You got some coaches that don't even put their people in nursing homes because they just like grandma abuela gonna be in the house with me till she go.
Honey, in the front room.
In the
That's
front
what I'm
room.
used to. Hey, in the front room.
In the
We
front
like
room. They
get
be
back
like, we
into
can't.
that. Like in the front
But
room.
you got people,
And
I
we
understand.
gonna care for that.
We gonna do it how we gotta do it. I get it. People gotta work. You got kids. You got a small place. You don't even own your own home. You live in an apartment. You don't got the space and the facilities and the capacity to hold somebody. I get it. So if you gotta do it, I understand you don't want to do it, but you have to. But what I'm telling y'all is checking y'all people. Thank God. Sugar Love goes up there every day to check on her mother. Because had she not, what if she would have been sitting like that for a week and then it would have just, trickled it down to something, dumbed it down to something else. Nah, that's not what we're doing. I'm telling you, if my mother is hurt, you gonna be hurt. I'm telling you now. So you might as well get your administrator out here, call police. You better get whoever, Johnny Cock, you better get everybody out here. And Johnny ain't here no more. I don't care. Go call his cousin. Because guess what? Everybody's in here getting tossed up. I'm not playing. I don't play that when it comes to my mother, I swear to you. And again, you're tricking me a little bit because even my mother didn't get physically touched. But, my mother, got a little piece of harassed off this internet with police, come to her home and this, that, and the third and invading her home. But you know what? I protect my mother at all costs. So that's why I am the way I am. That's why I'm passionate the way I am. That's why I'm getting like this. Because that's not right to do that. You have a mother. Why would you do that to somebody? And then you don't even, and another thing those facilities do real quick, and we're going to wrap it up. Another thing these facilities do, they don't call the people when something happened. They like to sit there and go, oh, we didn't even notice it. We didn't see it. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And if you don't go and check on your people, they'll never tell you. So that's just my only PSA to that. Check on your peoples and make sure y'all stay firm and know y'all rights. That's another thing I'm telling y'all. Know your rights. Be well equipped. Don't be ignorant to these situations. Know what you can and cannot do. Know if you well within your rights and protect the elderly. There's a I don't know if this is we have APS out here in New York, Adult Protective Services.
Sugar Love in New York. So listen, you guys, please pray for her.
Yep. And she better call them too. Sugar Love, if you listening, if you catching the replay, call APS and get that facility shut down. Because I'm sure they in violation of something.
Yeah.
I'm sure they in violation of something. Get that facility shut down and and help save other parents and other grandparents out there. And that's all I'm gonna say to that. I don't like that. But that's all I'm gonna say to that. I need a breather on that one.
Yeah, much love, and please pray for her. Pray for her mother. Listen, your mother, what I'm saying, is a very important. Listen, no one, wants to see nothing like that on their mom. That's crazy. I'm not gonna show you it, but I'm gonna if she wants to do it later on, I'm gonna let you guys see it. But what's going on right now is not.
No, that's no good. That's no good. But I appreciate you, Genesis, for having me up, and I thank you. And this was dope. And we did a live stream before, and y'all can check that out. I'll put it on the community wall, and y'all can check it out. Y'all make sure to subscribe to Alchemizing Energy and subscribe to all the channels and support. And we can agree to disagree. We can be respectful about it. And I love having healthy dialogue where we can bring our ideas to the table. Shout out to KTS Worker. Shout out to Hallelujah. It was great speaking with you and meeting you as well. And that's pretty dope. And I do appreciate y'all. And I thank y'all so much for having me. And this was dope. I appreciate it. And we'll be back with Robert Brooks, Genesis.
Yeah, like around like 6:00 my time. So that'd be like 7:00 your time.
Okay. All right. Cool. That'll give me no time.
Yeah, we have to give me all the information because you know more about that than I do. Shouts out to everybody. Much love. And
all right.
Alchemize your energy, darling. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.